What's up, everybody? Rob here. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have another live stream underway. The silver market has been very interesting, to say the least. We got a lot to talk about. Today, our guest appearance is going to be a 1,000 ounce, well, more than 1,000 ounce. I forget it. What's the exact weight of this bar? 1,061 troy ounce SS Garsopa. It is an authentic piece from the SS Garsopa, recovered over 2,000 miles beneath the ocean surface. One of the deepest, actually not one of the deepest, the deepest treasure ever found. So I felt like showing this off. Props to Odyssey Marine Exploration for being able to recover the deepest treasure ever found. This is one of the 400 some odd bars that were recovered from that SS Garsopa shipwreck. It is an authentic 1,061 troy ounce silver bar. So we got to put something cool when we do these live feeds. I always like to have a little guest appearance, and today is the SS Garsopa. But we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about, everybody. And one of these days, I'll do these live feeds at a normal hour and not at 9 p.m. and then do it 6 hours into 2 a.m., 3 a.m., but why not? Why not? We're all up checking our phones every minute anyway, right? So let's talk about silver, the silver short squeeze. Let's talk about the possible aspect that WallStreetBets isn't even on the silver short squeeze, and it is a rumor in the first place. Let's talk about all of this stuff in this live feed. I have been looking into PSLV. I got some interesting information on SLV and PSLV. Which one is better? Which one is the wrong one to go with? If there is a wrong one to go with. If both of them are the wrong ones to go with. Should we just be owning our physical silver? It's going to be a good live feed. We got a lot to talk about, guys. We got a lot to talk about. So welcome, everybody jumping into the live feed. Let me get this all set up here on the right. All right. We're back. Yep, we're back. We're back, everybody. So the first thing I want to address is the situation. Is WallStreetBets even part of this short squeeze situation here? Does silver have the same demise that GameStop just had? By the way, just like we went live every day over the weekend. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, went live every single day. And we had a lot of trolls in here, not on Friday, not really on Saturday, but on Sunday. The GME guys were really out in full force, it felt like. I don't know if everyone here remembers that, but they were out in full force, and they weren't very happy that I was bearish on GME. I don't think we're going to see them too much tonight, though. I don't think we're going to see them too much tonight. I stand firm on my belief that you can get a professional poker player in the beginning. You can catch a professional poker player slipping. You really can. And you can win a few hands against a pro. But if you keep playing at that poker table with a pro, if you're with Phil Ivey across from you at a poker table playing heads-up poker with Phil Ivey, you might win the first one. You might catch him looking the other way and you get him on the first one. You're not going to win in the long term against Phil Ivey in poker. That's what you're doing playing against the hedge funds. And I guarantee, well, I can't guarantee, but I personally believe the hedge funds made a lot more money off of GameStop than everybody realizes. Billions upon billions upon billions of dollars, most likely realized by the hedge fund and not the individual people. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news or the person to say, hey, told you so, but I don't think we're going to see too many people in the comments over here talking about GME anymore, because somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. That's the truth. And now a lot of people that were in the GME buying blindly into GameStop realized, nothing's free. And by the way, you don't actually have the gain. You might look at your portfolio and see a gain on GameStop, but if you didn't click the sell button, if you never realized that gain, you never took a profit. And I feel for the people that never did that, because they turned a situation that initially was a very beautiful thing into trying to muster up this pump. And I stood against it. I stood against it the whole weekend because I just think, hey, somebody's got to win. And even if you're part of the retail crowd, even if you were the original, if you were the WallStreetBets guys in the very beginning, you have to make your profit. You have to make your profit at some point. And whenever they declare that profit, whoever has the most money in there, they're going to declare that profit. So now the question is, what's the next short squeeze? And I think I said this on Sunday. I think I said it on Sunday as well, that if you were talking about what the next short squeeze was, instead of pushing GameStop after the professional poker player has already been tipped off pretty much, or not pretty much, it has definitely been tipped off. And now they're like, okay, well, there's a ton of volatility in this GameStop here. They have a lot more resources than we do as the average, Joe investing. They have a lot more resources. So as soon as they saw that volatility, they were playing probably both sides of the fence. They probably bought all the puts before Robinhood did the corruption that they did do and made you only allowed to sell, which basically created a funnel so that you can only sell. So there was a lot going on there. And, I stand by on my ground that I think it's over. You made your statement. It was a beautiful statement. It was an elegant statement. I'm very proud that happened in the world. I love that it happened in the world with that the people stuck it to the hedge funds who've been taking advantage of them left and right forever, but the statement was made. Don't overdo it. Don't push your luck. The statement was made, and I believe all the people that sold off on Monday, I mean, we're talking this thing crashed and burned. They didn't just pull back 10% or whatever. Hundreds just dropped. Ceiling dropped out. So it wasn't just a little drop. It was a huge drop. And if you're still in it, I'd recommend getting out as soon as possible. That's what I would personally do. By the way, it's probably a good time for me to say this video is not to be taken as financial advice in any way, shape, or form. Anything I said prior, anything I say after this, not to be taken as financial advice, just financial education based on my personal opinion, not to be taken as financial advice. I don't have a Series 7. I am not a financial advisor. Get that out of the way. Disclaimer. But it was very wrong. What happened there is you got people pumping and pumping and pumping, and somebody's got to make a profit. And on Monday, the people who were in the very beginning of the pump sold out. And that could have been hedge funds, could have been the retail. But now, if you're continuing to press GameStop and continuing to put money into GameStop, the hedge funds are onto it. You're not hurting any hedge fund anymore. In the beginning, you caught them off guard, but now you're not hurting them anymore. You're just helping them. And you're helping the people that are going to inevitably sell and take a profit. Now, how does this relate to silver? How does this relate to silver? Enough of the boasting about being right about GameStop. The good thing about YouTube is you can actually go back to old videos. I'm not deleting any videos off my channel. All my videos are still up there. You can go back to old videos and see, was I telling the truth or was I accurate or those things in the past? And I'm happy that I stood my ground despite how many trolls were in the comments, But is silver the next GameStop? My answer to that, and this is my personal opinion, is no. No, it's not. Not in the short term. The problem with people that want to make money in today's day and age is people want a free lunch. They want a free lunch and they want a quick free lunch too while they're at it. They want to be rich overnight. They want Lambos tomorrow. Not a year from now, not 2 years from now. I want a Lambo tomorrow. And I want a Lambo off $10 too. I want a Lambo off $10. Not just tomorrow. I want to have an options trade that expires next week. And I want a Lambo off $20 tomorrow. That's what I want. That's how the mindset is of the average investor, specifically in like Robinhood or, people that are trying to get into GameStop or AMC or whatever. I want my Lambo now. I want my Lambo now, and silver isn't that. Silver isn't that. What's beautiful about the whole situation with silver and being brought up and it possibly being brought up by WallStreetBets, it's looking like that's not true. However, WallStreetBets isn't like a single person. It's not like a verified Twitter account. We don't know the exact specifics of it. If they started it only to pretend like they didn't start it, we don't know exactly what happened here. But what we do know, the facts that are here, is that silver is in the mainstream. We are seeing silver on the news. We are seeing silver left and right here on YouTube. We are seeing silver everywhere right now. The demand for silver is through the roof. And by the way, just because silver pulled back from 30 doesn't take away from the fact that it rallied from the low teens just months ago, 6, 7, 8 months ago, from the teens to where it is now. Does anybody, like, what's up with this near-term logic? The first video I made on silver talking about the gold to silver ratio was with $100,000 of silver on this table back when silver was 18. And the gold to silver ratio was ridiculously out of proportion at the time. Back then, I was saying, silver is very undervalued and does have the potential to get squeezed higher. And the gold to silver ratio makes no sense. And now I have enjoyed the gains from there until this point. And, even in wholesale networks, silver is still trading over $30 an ounce right now because the premiums are through the roof. The demand for physical silver is through the roof. Just because the ticker says, 28 right now, I believe it's down to 28 right now, which is still very, very high comparatively to the last 6, 7 months, 8 months ago. It's the logic behind getting into silver hasn't changed. The logic behind it being a way to stick it to the banks hasn't changed. And I'm going to go into detail about that in this video. Again, this is just my opinion on how a silver short squeeze could happen here, but I have changed my logic. I used to think that SLV was a possible good option. It's pretty similar to what I first thought. I never really was super bullish on SLV. I was watching it very close and learning about SLV, learning about these different things in the stock market on how to get into silver. But the truth is the same as what I did talk about this in the last videos: physical, 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 physical. Physical silver first. I can't say that enough. Physical silver first, then PSLV is very interesting to me because it is held by the Canadian Royal Bank. It is held by the Canadian Royal Mint, rather. That's an interesting aspect because SLV is held by JP Morgan. SLV Silver is held by JP Morgan. Citron has a big position. Other big banks have big positions in that. And I have my own rationale on why that's happening and what the reason is behind that. But I have been looking into it. And I have been talking to all the people that went to my Instagram and shot me DMs. I really appreciate that because I'm learning with you. I don't know everything. I'm not a guru. I just have my own impulses. I have my own gut feeling, and I want to share that with the public. Over the weekend, just 2-3 days ago, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I was saying every single day, hey, GameStop really, I would be announcing a secondary if I was them. And if they haven't announced a secondary, I'm not sure if they have or not, but I for sure would be doing that. If I was on the executive team, I'd be trying to dilute my shares as much as possible and get as much money in the treasury as possible. It is not just the retail pumping that stock that makes the stock go up. It is also an idea that the executive panel, the people who are in control of the company, can issue shares and dilute those shares to take that capital that the retail is pumping into it and put it into their treasury and store that money, and is no longer the stock. The stock has now been diluted. They took the money out of the market, sold the shares to the pumpers, took that money into the company and put it into the treasury. That's what we're going to see happen with GameStop because they would be foolish if they didn't do that. So that's why I had looked at that situation and went, okay, this is just a money grab here. This is just a money grab here by those who were early investors in this situation. This was just a money grab. And I'm going to share that real information regardless of how many people were hating on me in the comments, regardless of how many people didn't agree that I was against GameStop. And even if it went up, I'd still say that. However, it didn't. It crashed. Sorry, not sorry. But let's go through some of there's a couple of super chats over here, and I wanted to make sure, really appreciate you. Elijah gave me $10. I really appreciate that, Elijah. Sup, Rob? What is the best way to speculate silver premiums so I can get the best bang for my buck over the next few months? Apologies if you're not talking about silver yet. We're always talking about silver on this channel. We're always talking about silver. There is no question that is wrong if you're talking about silver here. Personally, this is a piece of treasure here. I mean, there's people that are like, what do you mean? Silver, there isn't a premium. This is one of 400 some odd pieces that was found on the ocean floor. This is an SS Gersopa shipwreck silver bar here. So this one has a bit of a premium on it. And I think we can all agree why it would have a premium on it. However, the heavier the bar, the lower the premium. If you get I am very against the American Silver Eagles. A lot of these online retailers are pushing the Silver Eagles right now. The premiums on them, I'm seeing them go even all the way up to over 40, like 41, 42 they're retailing them at. That's, if you don't know, that's, a premium of, what's that, 13 range, 12, 13, 14. The premium on the small silver is pretty ridiculous. So personally, I like to go 50 ounce and above. I like to have either, a 50 ounce bar, 100 ounce bar, or 1,000 ounce bars. I like unique stuff myself, what I'm putting in my own collection. So like an SS Gersopa bar, when I had the opportunity to buy this, I was pretty excited to buy this. I've held this one for a long time. It's in my personal collection. So that's a piece that I like. But in regards to what's the best premium, what's the best bang for the buck, I would say a 100 ounce bar. I would say a 100 ounce bar. Try to get a name brand bar like an Engelhard or a Johnson Matthey, because they're just well respected among all the bullion dealers, among any collectors, among any investors in silver. Something along those lines. That would be the best bang for the buck, in my opinion. Great question, Elijah Reyes. Really appreciate the $10. Thank you. Let me get to, there's one more super chat, but I also have a lot to talk about with the silver short squeeze and between PSLV, SLV, and how I think this could happen over time, and why, in my opinion, it doesn't matter if WallStreetBets is on silver or not. Guess what? If you were with WallStreetBets in the very beginning, you scored on GameStop. But if you stuck with WallStreetBets, didn't work out too well, did it? All the people feeling pressure and feeling pain from GameStop falling like this, is that your best friend still? Because they probably sold out on you. I just said this to a person in the DMs on my Instagram. I'm answering every single DM, by the way. If I miss your comment in here, if you shoot me a DM on Instagram, I am getting back to those. I think I'm down to I think I had 180 something yesterday, and I'm down to 94 or something left, 95. So, but if you do shoot me a DM, I will get back to you. I'm sure I got back to a lot of people that are in the live feed right now. Really do appreciate the questions. If you want to go to Rob Sultan on Instagram, I will answer every single DM there if you want to follow me there. Not a big Instagram presence, but I am there. It is me personally. I don't have a person writing it or anything. It is actually me writing it. So if you want to put a comment there, I'm happy to get to you there as well. But we have a lot to talk about. Hang on. Christopher Hernandez, check out Reddit WallStreetBets, or Wall Street Silver, rather. Oh, there's a name, Wall Street Silver, instead of WallStreetBets on Reddit. They're investors who love physical silver. That's awesome to hear, Christopher Hernandez. I appreciate you shedding some light on that. Thank you for the $5, man. Appreciate it. Let me get to another. There was one more super chat here. Hang on. Don't want anyone. The best move for a silver squeeze is to get people to stop investing in SLV and to put it into physical silver, from Robert Carroll. A little bit ago, I was thinking about SLV, and I still have some thoughts about SLV too, on why I think it's possible that it could help with the silver short squeeze. Just my opinion, not to be taken as fact, not to be taken as financial advice, but just my opinion. The difference between PSLV, for the people that don't know, the main two right now is PSLV and SLV. The difference between the two is SLV is silver that's in a trust held by JP Morgan, held by the very people that we are against and who have been manipulating the markets in metals for a very long time. That's a problem, and we're not really happy about that. That's a problem. However, what's also interesting about SLV is that SLV is purchased by major hedge funds as well. Citron, a notable short seller, I believe that's Andrew Leff's company, who's a notable short seller, has a big position in SLV. Now, I have a reason why I think, SLV is having hedge funds into it, or hedge funds rather are investing into SLV, is because if they are short silver, and keep in mind, if JPM is short silver and so is Citron short silver and trying to manipulate the silver market, they want some sort of backup policy, some sort of hedge, if you will, that they can redeem, get the silver if they do get short squeezed and not have to pay a huge premium on that silver. So they need to make sure the silver is there. and ready to be purchased or ready to be used to cover the short if they do get short squeezed. So it would make sense. It would make sense for a hedge fund to have a position in SLV and a person that is majorly, manipulating the silver market to have a position in SLV. And also makes a lot of sense for JP Morgan to be storing this silver, to know that this silver is there in the vaults. It makes sense. It makes sense. However, the more people that are buying into SLV are basically getting a position in silver that is held in JP Morgan's vaults, which I find to be very interesting. Now, what would be the best possible play in silver, in my personal opinion, is owning physical first. Owning physical silver first, obviously. That is the number one play, even before hearing more about SLV from a lot of you all. Lift that bar. It's 70-something pounds. It's 70-something pounds, maybe towards the end of the video. But yes, it is a real bar. Hang on. There you go. I don't want to. It's pretty heavy. I don't want to get a hernia on the live feed. But physical silver is the lift it. What are you guys trying to get me to get a hernia on the live feed? I mean, come on. Let's talk about some more. Let's talk about some more stuff here. But yeah, I mean, it's authentic. It's the real deal. Or maybe it's not. Who knows? But if you take my word for it, it's authentic. But the best thing you can possibly do is get the physical silver. And if there was a possibility of a short squeeze happening, which is, in my opinion, very possible, if the physical silver supply is being held by the general public and the big banks who are short physical silver have to cover their short position because there's no silver available, and it's also an industrial metal that's needed for solar panels, that's needed for electrical components, is a very good conductive metal. It's needed in industry, so that's not going to stop anytime soon, especially if it's needed in solar panels. That's not stopping anytime soon. They're going to need silver for their solar panels. So it's industrially used. You can't really outlaw an industrial metal because they need to use it in industry again. And then if you have the big banks and the hedge funds having to cover their short positions, eventually they're going to run out of options between the buddy system. Right now with the hedge funds, they have a buddy system where, JP Morgan has a bunch of silver in their vaults. Citron might have a big silver position where they're betting or hedging against their short play, and they're playing in between those spreads there. But if all the physical silver keeps getting brought out to the public, and the public doesn't want to sell their silver for cheap, and they all think silver is extremely undervalued, now that could get very interesting very fast. So number one, after talking with all of you and getting more information out there from all of you, bringing it to my Instagram and saying it to the DMs and saying it in these comments here, physical silver all the way. Physical silver all the way. Actually owning physical silver is the way to go. And I am more than willing to hear criticism, because I had talked about, maybe 15% of it, 85% physical silver, maybe 15% SLV, something along those lines. However, a lot of people opened me up to PSLV. A lot of people brought that to the surface. There's even some people that are pumping GME. I mean, I'll bring it up because I appreciate the $5, man. But I don't think that happens. I think that it keeps getting dumped. And if every time it goes up, I think it's going to continue to get sold into those spikes, because now the hedge funds are playing the volatility. Hedge funds love volatility. They love a stock with the eyeballs on it. They love a stock that has that kind of volume, and they are making money left, right, front, and center. So if you think you're sticking it to the hedge fund right now with GameStop, you're really not. And I would recommend doing a bit more research. And I'm sorry that to be the guy who's the bearer of bad news, but they're making more money than you think. They're making more money than you think with GameStop. If you're putting money in GameStop, you're not sticking it to any hedge fund. They've covered those positions, and they have their hedge. They're hedged in that, and they're making money off the volatility. And your trades are still being given up by Robinhood. Your playbook is still being given up by the hedge funds. Remember, if you get the trades for free, there is nothing free in this world. If you get your trades for free from Robinhood, They are giving that trade information, all the calls you're buying, all the puts you're buying, all the stocks you're buying, all that information is given away within milliseconds to these big hedge funds. And then they are essentially getting your playbook from Robinhood and paying for that information. Just like some companies will pay for like their Rolodex of another company. You know, a Rolodex being all of their contacts. Some people pay for an email list. Some people pay for their contact list from another company. And it's a similar situation where hedge funds are paying for the trades from Robinhood to get that information from them. That's how Robinhood makes their money. So when you get a free trade from Robinhood, that's what you're up against. I don't believe in GME, and I think that ship has sailed. It was a beautiful, beautiful, elegant ship. And I loved what it did in the beginning. You know, really, really put up a great fight. And it was awesome to see it. I props to everybody in the very beginning. Now it's time to find a new short. Now it's time to, go, okay, this is the next one. They've overextended themselves here. But at the same time, what's so beautiful about what happened with GME is not about making money right now or anything like that, or even in the beginning making money. It's that now the hedge funds are going to be very, very cautious to overextend themselves on one stock like that. They're going to be very cautious to try to press that kind of percentage. I think at one point it was 140%, if I'm not wrong, somewhere between 120, 140% short GME. So they deserved it. Melvin Capital deserved it, and they know they deserved it. And so they're going to be very hesitant to do that in the near future now, I believe. So I give nothing but respect to the people that made that happen, because now they're not going to be so arrogant to be able to press a company at that level of the percentage of the float. They're not going to try that again. And if they do, social media crowds might just do the same thing. But that brings us to silver. If the retail audience continues to buy physical silver, it adds up. It adds up fast. And so why is silver the real way to stick it to the banks? If you really want to get back at the hedge funds, at the big banks, the big commercial banks, the JPMs, the Bank of Americas, these Citron hedge funds, Melvin Capital, if you really want to get to them, you take away their money. Where do they get their money? From you. Where is your debit card? Where's the money coming from with your debit card? Where do you go cash your stimulus check? Who's holding your bank account? They get their capital from you, the retail crowd. That's where Chase Bank gets their capital. They're getting that capital. Not only that, but they are leveraging your capital and paying you nothing for it, or next to nothing for it. Could you imagine how amazing it would be if people just knocked on your front door? You watching this video right now. If somebody just came to your front door and knocked on it and said, "Hey, John, how you doing today? Hey, John, how you doing today? I'll tell you what. I really need somewhere to put my money. My problem is I have this money and I need somewhere to put it where I feel safe, somewhere that has my money. And, you can do whatever you want with my money. John, you can do whatever you want with my money. No problem at all. Just do whatever you want with it. All I want in return is 0.01% annually. And you can do whatever you want with this money. Just let me have a little bit from time to time. If I want a lot of it, if I want all of it, say it's 100,000. If I want all my 100,000 back, make sure that I have to wait a very long time to get that. Make sure you ask me a lot of questions on why I want that much money back at one time. And if all of my friends wanted their money back from you, you wouldn't be able to do it, and that's fine. But I only want a little bit back at a time. Is that cool with you, John? All you got to do is pay me 0.01% a year on this money. And you can do whatever you want with my 100 grand. Matter of fact, the interest rates are 0 right now, so you can actually give loans out against my 100 grand as much as you want, as much as your heart desires, John. Is that a good deal for you? How you feel about that? Who wouldn't take that? Who wouldn't take that situation there? It's like the audacity that the banks get away with that. That is exactly that whole situation. If you didn't put it together, I'm sure you did. I was being sarcastic. Is what the commercial banks do on a daily basis when you give them your money. That is what they do on a daily basis. That's their MO. They get your money, pay you next to nothing for it, and invest it at their will and multiply it at their will, because fractional banking is now Non-existent. They used to have to hold 10% in the vault. They don't have to hold anything anymore. They can do whatever they want. If all of us asked for our money back, they couldn't supply it. Now that's the real short squeeze. If everybody asked the big banks for their money back and said, hey, I don't want to hold my money with you anymore, you guys kind of sketch me out. Be a game of musical chairs, to say the least. And if you're not the first person at the musical chairs, eventually someone's not going to have a chair. And that's what happens there in that situation. If everybody asks for their money back, it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting. So I got an Aldershot 8080008 or 8008 saying lift it. I'll lift the bar towards the end. All right, it's real. It's the real deal. I dropped it over already earlier. So, but I always like to have a nice guest host here, and this is the guest host of the day. Not as cool as the pyramid type situation. Maybe I got to put 3,000 ounce bars for the next one and put 2 on the side, 1 on the top, sort of thing. Let me get a chunk out of that shiny Kit Kat slate. All right, I'll try to shave off an edge, an assayer's cut of it. E-Man, I appreciate that. Yeah, if you like the video, if you want to like the video, if you agree with the things I'm saying, if you don't agree with the things I'm saying, you're welcome to hit the dislike. I'd appreciate it if you hit the like, though. If you hit the like, it does help more people see this video, and it does help to get it out there. So everybody that hits the like button, really, really appreciate you. Thank you very much if you decide to do that. If you want to subscribe to the channel, it's free to subscribe, no strings attached. There's a red subscribe button, and if you click the bell afterwards, you'll get notified of all future live feeds, and you'll get notified of future content on the page. I don't like making clickbait content. I don't like talking about, changing my thesis left and right. There's a lot of flip-flop channels that go from one side to another side. I try my best to remain consistent, but if you hit that like button, it does really help the video. And just literally, some people are clicking the like button right now. We just jumped up to 1,000 viewers. So it really does help if you hit the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. So I know everybody says that. Oh, please subscribe, click the like button, but it really, really does help with the algorithm if you want to get this information. Like for the lift. Everybody, if you really want me to lift the bar, I'll lift the bar. But it's like you guys are trying to give me a hernia on a live feed. It's a 73-pound bar. But back to the situation with physical silver and how this affects the big bank. The first way you could affect a big bank, and this is me just saying my opinion, just putting out hypotheticals, not saying to do this per se, but just saying this is how it could happen. This is how a short squeeze could happen on banks, and how you could get to a bank much more so than GameStop ever could. I'll tell you what, everybody. We get to 500 likes on this video. I see it at 268. We get to 500 likes, I'll lift the bar. All right? I'll lift the bar. I'll even try to curl it. I might drop it on my foot or something. And so if you guys get it to 500 likes, fair enough. You get it to 500 likes, I'll lift it up and I'll try to curl it or something. All right? It is what it is. We'll do that. But buying the physical silver is interesting because if you're taking the money out of the bank, that's hurting them in the first place, right? Because they use that money against you and they're leveraging that money. That's how they get their capital. You take your money out of the bank and you put it into stored wealth, stored physical wealth, not in any stock market, not in any SLV, not in even PSLV, and you have it in physical metal. You're first hurting the bank by getting the money away from them. You're second hurting them by taking it out of SLV, taking it out of the stock so they don't even have any information on you, and you're putting it into the physical metal, which is then taking the physical metal away from the vaults and into the hands of the retail audience, who then takes the money out of the fiat system and then back into what real money is, what real sound money is. That is the best possible way to get a squeeze on the banks. If you really wanted to get to the banks, that is how you do it. You take the money away from the bank, you put it into physical silver. That would be the best way to do it. Now, between PSLV and SLV, because everybody's been talking about that, PSLV is interesting because it is held by an actual mint. It is held by the Canadian Mint. That is very interesting. That is held by the Royal Canadian Mint versus JP Morgan having the keys to the vaults for SLV that they can spend for managerial expenses. They can do all kinds of stuff with that. So between the two, I am personally leaning towards PSLV if I am going to go into a stock. I'm not in either one of them right now, but I do have a lot of physical silver. So I have to say that I am big on physical silver. I own mineralexchange.com. By the way, to all the people that went to my website the other day and signed up for the Wholesale Buyers Club, you guys broke the website. So if you don't see, if the drop down doesn't show anymore for the Wholesale Buyers Club, is because we had so much traffic to the website that it broke the website. So if you want to email me or email the company, info@mineralexchange.com, you can email me there. And a sales rep will contact you that way. Put your information in an email. But yeah, the website crashed from how many people were on the website the other day. So that was pretty cool to see. I like that. Some people might be mad their website crashed. I thought it was pretty awesome myself. So we're still working on the code for the new website, and that should be dropping very soon. So periodically check mineralexchange.com, and the website will be up and running much more efficiently than it is right now. But appreciate everybody that did break the website the other day. That was awesome. Everybody's trying to get me to 500 pounds so I can lift this. I'm going to have to take off my watch and stuff too, because it's going to be heavy to curl this bar. Just if I drop it on my foot, will you guys like throw me some super chat money on here to pay for the surgery or something? If I drop it on my foot, will you guys help me out with that? It's a heavy bar. It's a heavy bar. And I haven't been in the gym too much because the gyms are shut down. Hang on. Let me get to some of these super chats. If you are smart, you buy silver to preserve wealth, not to stick it to the man. Dollar bills will become toilet paper and metals will be king. I don't disagree with you personally, RMD123. I don't disagree with you. And that is why, overall, to answer that whole situation of did WallStreetBets create this hype around silver? Well, they did, kind of, because they created hype on short squeezes, and then people basically went, well, the best short squeeze ever is silver. And so it brought the hype to that place. So they kind of did either way. Even if it wasn't them directly saying it, they brought the hype there. So you got to thank them for that, because they brought the hype there. Now, is it them furthering the hype? Well, you would hope that they would take credit for it. You'd hope that right now they'd take credit for it, because taking credit for GME is pretty rough. Would you want to take credit for GME at this point? WallStreetBets, I wouldn't want to take credit for that if I was WallStreetBets. That wouldn't be me, I would be trying to take credit for silver, if anything, if I was them, because silver seems to be holding up at least pretty well. Silver's used in a ridiculous amount of electronics. It's used in a ridiculous amount of solar panels. Silver is a very industrial metal. It is mostly an industrial metal. It is somewhere between 70 and 85% used in industrial cases. So only so much of it is held as money, which makes it extremely interesting, because that is the opposite of gold. The large majority of gold is held as money by none other than the central banks. So that's why I disagree with Peter Schiff. He wasn't talking about silver until recently. Kind of goes with the hype trends, the Peter Schiff channel over there. He talks about silver now. He didn't talk about it that much in the past. He'd always talk about gold. But the truth is, most of the gold is in central banks. They have most of it. It's in the vaults. And the truth is, silver is a lot more rare above ground than lick and lift. I'm gonna lift it. You're pushing your luck on the lick part of it. We'll lift it if it gets to 500 likes. We're at 458. I'll help you guys. But if we get to 500 likes, I'll lift it, and we're at 458. So we're probably gonna get there. We're probably gonna get there, and I appreciate everybody for liking either way. But to the people that are against silver, or saying, that silver is just, or I'm some sort of guy for the hedge funds or something, keep on thinking that. Keep on thinking that. I loved what they did with GameStop. I just know to call a spade a spade. And at some point, you got to take profits. At some point, the big hedge funds have their eyeballs on the volatility, and now they're making money on it going up, down, sideways, whatever. No matter what, even if GameStop stays sideways and there's a lot of volatility in it, they're still going to be making money. They're still going to be making money. Oh, we broke 500 likes. All right. 1 second. Let me take this off real quick. All right, we'll do it. 500. I'm a man of my word. 1 second. All right. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Hang on. Fair enough. All right. There you go. Full curl. All right, we there? That fair enough, guys? Fair enough? Am I a man of my word? We're good? We're good right now? So let's get the likes to 1,000 now because I said I'd do it. You know, we did a curl with 70-something pounds, all right? That was pretty rough. And this thing's a little bit odd. I almost dropped it, all right? All right. We're good? We're good? All my silver squirrels. He's shaking. All right, all right. I'm shook. All right. I broke the camera. I appreciate it. Everybody that smashed the like button, everyone that clicked subscribe. We're all silver squirrels here. We're all silver squirrels. If you say to lift the bar, we'll lift the bar. 1,000, he licks the bar. I don't know if we'll do that. I don't know about that. You know, but also something about silver, just because you bring that up. Silver, the reason they call it silverware is because bacteria doesn't stick to silver. Bacteria doesn't stick to silver, which is a very interesting part about silver. So if you did lick a silver bar, it actually isn't going to have any bacteria on it because bacteria doesn't stick to silver. That's why silverware is such a great place to, that's a great thing to use with your cutlery, with your silverware. Bacteria doesn't stick to it. So you learn something every day. If you didn't know that, that is a true situation. Silver is antimicrobial. Let's get to some more of these comments here. Don't let Fauci hear that. You know, I don't know. I'm going to try to stay away from that whole situation, but it is a very healthy thing that I believe it is colloidal silver is a healthy thing to do because it kills the bacteria. Bacteria can't stick to silver, so it is a very interesting thing to look into on the fact that it is antimicrobial. Antimicrobial, I believe, is the term. But what I wanted to talk about a lot in this video is that physical silver is obviously king. If you want physical silver, I'm happy to help with mineralexchange.com is my company. There's a lot of places to get silver. However, a lot of the big guys are shut down. So the little guys like me are still able to get silver because, you know, I'm a silver squirrel. I'm a silver squirrel and I stash my acorns, you know? So guys like me, you know, in the trenches, there's guys that are in the trenches and there's guys with the machine guns in the back. And sometimes they run out of bullets. You know, sometimes they run out of bullets and it comes back to the people in the hedges and in the trenches, you know, rather not the hedges, but the trenches rather, you know, that actually have product right now. And I do have product right now. It's going pretty quick. All the people that crashed my website, I'm doing my best to call, to get on the phone lines with everybody that did crash the website. But the website, if it's not up yet for the Wholesale Buyers Club link, it'll show that everything's sold out on the website. There might be some times where I start updating the website, but we'll be getting back to you very soon, all the people that did crash the website. So thank you for doing that, but we will be fixing it very soon. And so if it's not working yet, I'll get to that very soon. But again, I wanted to really firmly state that I am for physical silver. I am for physical silver. How old is the bar? I already super chat. Oh, I'm sorry for missing it if I missed it, Matthew. Matthew Newman. I do my best to not miss any of the super chats. I really do appreciate it. Oh, wait, no, you did it. I'm sorry. You said how old is the bar, and then you said how old is the bar again. The bar is from the actual war. So what happened is there was a ship, the SS Garasopa, that was bringing silver, I believe, from India to back to Britain, and it actually got sunk by a German warboat. So one of the U-boats actually sunk the SS Garasopa, shot it with a torpedo. This is in World War. So they basically sunk it. This is in the 1900s, I believe, the early 1900s. It sunk the SS Garasopa to the ocean floor, 2 miles down onto the ocean floor, and it sat there, I believe, I believe it was 2002 or 2003 it was recovered. So that is the story of the SS Garasopa. It's a pretty cool bar. This is from the World War with Germany. So that is it. That's the information on this SS Garasopa. Hang on. Lots of people looking for bullion. Please do a rundown on what to look for when buying locally. ways to spot fakes. Is the ping sound test reliable? One of the easiest tests you can do is on YouTube, or write this down for yourself, is look up the magnet test. Look up the magnet test. What you can do is, if you have a silver bar, ideally if it's a thin one, it works on 100 ounces too, but if you have a nice strong magnet and you put the silver at a slight tilt, this is the cheapest, easiest way that's more reliable than just the ping test with your finger. You can drop a magnet and watch it slowly go down the silver. It should run off the silver like a water droplet. It shouldn't stick to the silver. It shouldn't just immediately drop off the silver. It should have a very unique way that it slowly drops down the silver. And that is the easiest, quickest way to test silver. It is not 100% efficient. The best possible way on how to test silver is by using an XRF gun, which is basically a like the Niton XRF is something that goes about 1.5 inches or 1 inch into the silver, and it's an actual X-ray that tests for pure silver and tells you the exact metal content of the object that you are pointing it at. That is the top of the line, which is about $20,000 for one of those. However, there is the verifier, the Veriscan, which is probably the cheapest, best at-home model. I'm not in any relation to Veriscan. I'm not in any relation to the XRF, the Niton XRF gun. Have nothing to do with that, but excuse me. Those would be the best way to be able to test physical silver, or to buy from a reliable source like a local coin shop, like Mineral Exchange. Even Peter Schiff has a company, and you could go to Peter Schiff to get your stuff as well. I would prefer that you went to my website, but that is the best possible way to do that. Hang on, let me get to, there's another super chat. Elijah Reyes, I really appreciate that. Silver Squirrel, I'm a magpie. They love hiding shiny stuff. Anyhow, some folks don't know the difference between the silver ETF and holding precious, delicious physical silver. Enlighten us. Very well put, Elijah. Very well put. Having physical silver is king. Having physical silver is king. The difference between a physical silver and an ETF, to answer that question the best way I can, you need a Ron Paul poster rather than an Einstein. You know what, RC? You might just be right about that. There's a couple quotes I really like about Einstein, but Ron Paul, Ron Paul is the guy that just never got what he deserved. Never got what he deserved. We really could have used 8 years of Ron Paul. And he's still sharp. I watched a recent interview with Ron Paul, and the guy is sharp. He's sharp as a tack for how old he is. Gotta love that. You gotta love that. At least he's got his son out there, but his son doesn't quite have the same oomph to him. You know, Ron Paul's just got a certain, I'm a libertarian myself, so I'm a fan of his. But to get back to the comment from Elijah, that's a great comment. The difference between physical silver and an ETF is an ETF doesn't get to enjoy a premium. When you own the physical silver, there is a big premium on it. Like right now, if you're trying to buy physical silver, you can't get it for spot price. There is nowhere where you can get silver for spot price. There isn't. You can't even get it off Craigslist for spot price. And you're taking a lot of risk when you're doing that. So the only way that you can get silver right now is by paying a big premium. So when you have physical silver with an ETF, you're just buying it at that price. Now, at that price, you're not buying exact ratios there. So if you buy into SLV, if you pay whatever SLV is, it's not an exact per ounce basis. There's less silver than what the actual market cap is. So you're even paying a premium with that, but when you're selling it, you're not enjoying that premium. So you're losing to a premium, and then when you sell, you're losing to a premium as well, because you don't get any of that enjoyment of a premium of something, the demand outpacing the supply. Because the demand is outpacing the supply, those who have physical silver right now are enjoying a premium even from dealers like myself. We're paying over spot price for silver right now. So if you sell silver to Mineral Exchange, you are getting a premium on your silver more than just spot price, which is it's a very lucrative thing about silver and having the physical silver. So I hope that answers the question, Elijah, but that is the number one difference between a silver ETF and having the physical silver. Having the physical silver, you are in the king's seat. You are in the king's seat because you are getting a premium off of that silver, because the silver demand is outpacing the silver supply. The supply chain cannot meet the demand, which is why big retailers are shut down right now, because they cannot replace their silver in the vault. Just because a silver spot price is right now at 28 doesn't mean dealers like myself are going to want to sell it for that. It doesn't mean that you, as a stacker, as a silver squirrel stacker, want to sell it for that. And the more people that know that and want to hold the actual asset and know in their heart, in their soul, they go, this is worth more than 28 an ounce. This is worth more to 28 an ounce. They can tell me it's worth 28 an ounce. They can say their dollar is strong, but you know what? I'm a silver squirrel and I don't believe them. I'm a silver squirrel and I don't believe them. I think my silver's worth over 50 an ounce and I'm holding it strong until I can get a price that I think I deserve for my asset. It's like when you go to a pawn shop or you go to something and they give you some lowball number and you go, you know what? I appreciate it, but I'm not willing to sell for that price. I think it's worth more than that. That's the situation we're in with silver and the demand outpacing the supply. So the banks can use their physical silver contracts, the pieces of paper, the paper market to falsely suppress the silver market. But the more people that hold the physical metal and refuse to sell at the ridiculously low price that silver is at, that is what sticks it to the bank. That is what sticks it to the bank. So that would be the difference between the two. Really great question, Elijah. I just wanted to put that out there. But the big difference is the physical silver. You actually hold that real asset. Hang on. Let me go through some of these comments here. Copper. You know, storing copper is kind of hard if you want to put a lot of copper somewhere. You've seen when I put 100,000 of silver on this table, how much that is over 400 pounds of silver. Can't exactly put that in a backpack unless you're a pretty strong power lifter. But RK Rocket Knight in the house. Oh, he's in the house. He's a sharp dude. He's a sharp dude. Every time he comments, he'll get me on some things that I forgot to point out or some things that I missed on, and I really appreciate that because he'll even bullet point it. And it's like I got the I have a certain way that if something is not written right or in bullet point form, it bothers my head. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me. And so the way he writes in like perfect bullet points, I always like to see his comments, and really sharp dude. So appreciate you being in the house. RK Rocket Knight, Jesse Hayward, currently Bears have lower premium as now in this frenzy. Correct. Otherwise, it depends on what you like. He's exactly right. Hang on. XE fail. Thank you for the $5. He says, how have you bought silver contracts and taken possession of the silver physically? If so, can you describe the process? I have not. I have not myself. And that is why I believe in just buying the physical metal so you don't have to deal with that process. Actually, just holding the physical metal, I believe you have to have a lot of capital to be in that process to actually get the silver that you have a contract on. So that is why it's so easily manipulated, because it's very easy to get a piece of paper. It's very hard to get the actual metal. So I recommend getting the physical metal. On Kitco, the spot price, the bid, or the ask. Spot price is the ask. So spot price is ask. Bid is what a dealer is willing to pay for that. So that is the spread. The ask is what spot price is on the two metals. And does the same apply for other metals? I haven't bought from you yet, but many super chats. I appreciate that, RMD123, and you have. I really appreciate that a lot. I hope that answers. Does the same apply? Yes, the same applies for the other metals as well. I think I got to all the super chats. Let me get to. I got a lot of great guys in the comments. I really appreciate that, Slade. Why are platinum premiums so high? That's another great question from Juggernaut316. Platinum premiums are so high, and why I'm so big on platinum myself is because the demand exceeds the supply. The supply of platinum is extremely small. The amount of platinum that has been mined in the entire world, you can fit in a small house. You can't do the same with silver or gold. The amount of platinum out there in 995 form or 9995 form, because platinum is only able to be refined to that because it's a very durable metal. It's extremely hard to refine. It takes a 3,000 degree melting point instead of the much easier melting points of silver and gold. So platinum actually was it was considered an annoyance. When they used to mine it, back in the, early days of man, it would be like a byproduct. And the term platinum comes from the Spanish term platina, which means little silver. And the reason they called it little silver is because it was like these little silver objects that they couldn't get out of their other silver. You know, it's like, why does this not melt? How do we get rid of this stuff? You know, because it takes an extremely high melting point to melt down platinum and refine it. They actually didn't know how to refine it until about 300 years ago. So the reason why they didn't consider platinum money wasn't because it wasn't there. It was because they didn't have the resources to melt it down and refine it. It was just a very unique metal. That's why I've always considered platinum the noblest, I don't know if that's a word, but the noblest of noble metals. That's why, you know, your card, the fanciest cards are considered a platinum card, because it's just a hard to get item. It's very deep in the earth's crust. You can only find it, I believe most of it is in Africa. And it's a very hard metal to get, and not only a hard metal to get, but a hard metal to refine. And then on top of it, it's used more in industry than silver is. And I would imagine they find other use cases for platinum and also switch over from palladium back to platinum based on how high palladium has gotten. So I'm not too big on palladium. I used to like palladium back when it was in the low thousands. Now where it's at, it's a little bit high right now. I think it continues to go up, but I would rather be in platinum myself because I think platinum is super undervalued. But the reason for the premium is because it is hard to mine, it is hard to refine, and there's an extremely, extremely limited amount of it. Very, very limited amount of it, especially a limited amount of it in bullion form. So I hope that answers the question. I found a killer bar for sale. Will you pay a finder's fee? If I really wanted, I would. If I really wanted, I would. Shoot me an email. There's a lot of comments. There's a lot of comments on here, but I do want to talk some more about how a silver short squeeze could happen. I want to get some more knowledge out there, or just my opinion, I guess. Physical silver first, PSLV second, SLV third. And SLV is the only reason I'm interested in SLV is if the public owned SLV and kind of boxed in the Citadel, boxed in JP Morgan, boxed in the other big banks in there and controlled the majority of SLV on top of already controlling the majority of physical silver. Keep in mind, there is 8 times more gold above ground than silver. A lot of people think gold is more rare than silver. Silver is actually a lot more rare than gold. Very interesting. Very interesting. If you didn't know that, now you know that. There is a lot more gold above ground than there is silver. So silver is more rare than gold. So the market is smaller and it is less held by the central banks, and it is not as abundant above ground. And especially during the times that we're in today, it's very hard to import export. And you know, silver is getting more and more limited. And as the demand continues to outpace the supply, those who have the physical silver and have the mindset where you go, you might say my physical silver is worth 28 of your diluted dollars, but I'm not willing to sell my physical silver for 28 of your diluted dollars. The more people that have that mindset, so people who are constantly pumping GME, pumping GME and have that mindset, if we continue to buy, it will continue to go up, right? With silver, it's different. It's a little different because if you continue to buy and you continue to hold silver, you are actually taking something off of the marketplace and storing your money physically in something that has been money forever into sound money, and you cannot do a secondary of silver. Now, that is the key component. With GameStop, my biggest reason for being against GameStop on the pump of it, at the beginning, I was for that. I thought that was amazing just to get to the hedge fund. The reason I said I was bearish on GameStop over the weekend prior to this huge crash happening is because I think they would do a secondary, which means they can dilute their shares. You cannot do a secondary on silver. You have to mine it. You cannot dilute the silver market artificially like you can a stock. So you can't just put a dump truck of silver and say, here you go, we just found a bunch of it. It's like, no, you had to mine it. You got to refine it. There's a process here. It's different in that way. GME is something where they can announce a secondary. And even if it goes up, just remember, they can dilute their stock. It's called a secondary. If you don't know what a secondary stock offering is, I recommend looking it up. Because if I was in charge of GameStop, I would have been diluting the stock every chance I got the option to, because that company needs a restructure. You need to restructure that company, and it's got a dying business model to it. So why wouldn't you take on that capital and dilute the shares? Why wouldn't you? It would be a great idea to do that. You can't do that with silver. You can't dilute the silver market like that. You can put these paper contracts out there and they can short silver as much as they want. But eventually they got to get out of that position if silver continues. If the demand continues to outpace the supply, what are we going to do? What's going to happen? Is the spot price going to stay at 28, but we're going to start charging 50 an ounce as dealers? Eventually it's got to give. Something's got to give. You can try to falsely suppress this market as much as you want, big banks. You can continue to put these paper contracts out there, but in the social media age that we're in, this information is getting out there to the general public. And to all the 933 people in this live feed, we're making a statement with it. We're making a statement here saying, we don't believe the spot price should be this low. We think spot price should be higher. We're not willing to sell our silver for this spot price. And furthermore, eventually, you hedge funds that are manipulating this market and are shorting this market, you're going to have to cover those positions if we continue to hold physical silver. You're eventually going to have to hold those positions. And what's interesting is those who hold SLV stock, essentially, you're cornering them in. You're kind of boxing them in. And I would imagine that Citron, the reason they have a large position in SLV and these other hedge funds have a large position in SLV is because it's a buddy-buddy system. It's a buddy-buddy system because they know they have to eventually cover those short positions and they need access to a lot of physical silver. So they might be doing it as a hedge play because if physical silver goes up, they are hedged in a sense because they can get out of their short position and make money on it going up. And so if you continue to box them in and buy the SLV, buy the PSLV I think is better than SLV, but the interesting aspect of SLV is that's kind of their little honey hole. That's like their little manipulative honey hole that they have with SLV. But wouldn't it be interesting if they got boxed in and the majority was retail audience that boxed in the big hedge funds in PSLV? In SLV, that would be interesting. Physical silver first, obviously. 90% physical silver first. But if the retail then, once they owned the physical silver, maybe it's first physical silver. And this is me just speaking my opinion, letting my thoughts kind of go out there. This is not a pre-planned video. Any of those who are coming into the live feed right now, or people watching this live feed after I post the live feed, because I do post all my live feeds, this is just me off the cuff. It's just, I'm just speaking it right now on the live feed. So I'm just putting my opinions out there. But essentially, if I was going to be like planning out a silver short squeeze or how this could happen, this is just my opinion, not speaking of fact, not saying I'm doing this, just disclaimer, not a financial advisor, not giving any advice in any way, shape, or form, not telling you to do this. But how a silver short squeeze could happen is if the physical silver was majority owned by the retail audience, by we the people. If we, the people, owned the majority of physical silver and didn't want to sell it for spot price and essentially said, hey, industry, people that want solar panels, you can come to us directly to get your silver. And, we'll charge a lot for that. We want a big premium. We want a big premium on this silver. So all the people making solar panels, all the people that need silver in the medical field, all the people that want it for your clothing or for your silverware, you can come to us, we the people, and we will provide it at a big premium. The big banks, they only got paper. They don't have the real deal. We got the real deal. They don't have it. But we want over 50 an ounce for it. We want this price, whatever the price is at that time. But we want a big premium attached to our physical silver. So if anything we're seeing from right now, the demand is outpacing the supply, and so we get this huge premium there. So physical silver is obviously first, and physical silver is obviously king, because you get that premium and you can kind of name your price in that situation. You ever hear the term name your price? I got an item that's worth, name my price on it, because it's so rare, it's so finite that other people want it and you're willing to just name your price on it. That's what a premium is, naming your price, regardless of what the market value says it is. You're naming your price because they don't have it and they want it, and you can name your price in that situation. And we're seeing that from these big retailers right now. Once that happens, the next thing would be to go after the silver in the big bank's vaults. So you have essentially, the first thing you did, you took your money out of the big bank, You put it into physical silver. So you hurt the big bank by taking the money out of from their control, so they no longer have your money to play with. That would be honestly the biggest way to hurt the big banks, is if you took your money out. If all of the people took their money out of the banks, they wouldn't have enough to supply it. So that would be the first big way, is taking the money out of the bank in the first place. This is me just speaking hypotheticals, not saying advice, just financial education based on my opinion. It's just my opinion. Could be right or wrong. Could be wrong. Just my opinion, disclaimer. But the first way that a bank could really get hurt, in my personal opinion, is if somebody took their money out from them. Now they don't have that money to play with at 0 point whatever percent. You know, just like I said earlier about the whole situation on getting loans for cheap, that would be the first way. Then if you take that physical fiat money out of the fiat market and into physical metals, that's the second way, because now that money is completely out of the economy. It's now in silver. So they can't get access to that money at all anymore. Now you have the physical silver and you consider that money. That's what we consider money. That's what we the people consider money, is silver. Interesting. So you have that situation, and now eventually they are going to need that physical silver to cover their short positions that they have been doing to manipulate the silver market for so long. Then you could be in a position after all the physical silver is dried up and the premiums are through the roof, and you're charging, even though silver's 28, the premium might be, let's say 50, just some crazy premium on silver. Then you double down, and then you go after the silver in their actual vaults. Then you start selling your silver and getting big premiums on the silver, and then going after the silver in the vaults. That would be the best situation on how to trigger a short squeeze in silver. And it's not going to be the same thing as GameStop at all. It wouldn't be the same thing at GameStop at all, because it takes a lot of time and patience in the silver market. But I've been in the silver market over the past year, and and further than that, but I started doing YouTube videos in July, and at that time silver was 18. And a lot of people at the time said, oh, you're kind of crazy to have that much silver. Well, it was at 18 back then, and I bought it prior to that too, at the beginning of this pandemic and everything, when it was down at 12. And at that time, I can tell you the premiums were very high. It was very hard to find silver at like 15, 16 when it was down at 12, because people didn't want to sell it for that price. So when you got the physical silver and you play the long game, well, now I've enjoyed almost more than 100% gains on a lot of my silver. But it's taken a longer time than just, wanting a quick pump from GameStop. If it comes easy, it goes easy. And I think everybody who's been in the GameStop situation and forgot to sell and forgot to take their profits, they now know that. And there's no way to teach somebody better than letting them make their own mistakes. I could preach and preach and preach for an entire weekend, which I did, and preach and preach and preach about why GameStop could crash and why I think, it was a beautiful thing in the beginning, but now it's over. You got to find something different. But if you don't make that same mistake and actually feel the pain of losing money, you won't really learn the lesson. You got to feel it. And eventually, if you feel it, then okay, the fire was hot, and he wasn't lying about the fire. He said the fire was hot, but I had to burn my hand to know it was hot. And then you really learn. So now it's the truth is it's a company that needs to restructure itself. I hope it comes back from, the where it was, but they have to do a secondary, get a lot of capital in the treasury, pay off their debts, and restructure the company. And I believe they have a few activist investors trying to do that. So let's hope for them. I mean, I got nothing against them. I'm not short GameStop. I'm not long GameStop. I just tell it like it is. So that's what it is. But the first thing that I would do in silver is buy physical silver and hold the physical silver, because as we're seeing right now, you can name your price. If you go to a dealer with physical silver, they will pay a premium to buy it off of you, and they're going to be grabbing at it. If you bring believe me, watch this. If you don't believe me, do this actually. Go to your local coin shop and say, hey, I got 1,000-ounce silver bar. What will you pay me for it? Or, hey, I got 100-ounce silver bar. What will you pay me for it? I was fishing around town, and, I was wondering what you would be willing to pay for it. And watch the way they bite. Because I can tell you from experience, they want it. They want it. And they're willing to pay for it. So having physical silver is where you're in a position where you have something that other people want. And if the dealers want it that bad, obviously other people want it. And they're going to continue to pay premiums to get an item that they want. And it's beautiful to see that. It's beautiful to see the demand exceeding the supply and at the level that it's going. So to go back to, did WallStreetBets create this silver short squeeze situation. Is it real? Any of that. And I wanted to make this video. I don't know if I put on this video not clickbait or something like that. I don't like to make clickbait videos. I wanted to put this out there. It doesn't matter either way. It doesn't matter either way. Silver was a great play prior to this situation with WallStreetBets. Anything that WallStreetBets did is they helped hype exposure into manipulated markets. They helped hype exposure into manipulated markets, and that's a beautiful thing. You know, Melvin Capital was trying to manipulate the GameStop stock and overly short it, and they caught him slipping, and they exposed just how manipulated the market was in that time with that specific stock. Because of them exposing the entirety of manipulated markets, that is why they did start the silver short squeeze, because they brought exposure to a market that was very manipulated by doing what they did in GameStop. Either way, whether they did directly or indirectly, they did it. They brought hype into manipulated markets, and that brought the idea of we the people coming together and going, no, we're sick of you manipulating our market. We're sick of you manipulating our market, and we're going to do something about it. That's what WallStreetBets did, and I commend them. I thank them, and that is my opinion on the subject. It doesn't matter either way, but they did draw exposure to a manipulated space, and silver has been manipulated forever. Don't believe me? Look at the facts, and JP Morgan has been caught manipulating the metals market multiple times and has settled multiple times. They are the biggest manipulators of this market. So if you really want to get back at the big banks, if you really want to get back at the hedge funds, you take away their money that they get from you, the retail investor. You take that money back and you store that money out of their system, out of the places where they have eyeballs, and then you put that physical silver in your pocket and you wait for that market to eventually beg you, to literally beg you and pay you a big premium for that physical silver that you took the money out of their bank into the physical silver, and now you have a product that they're inevitably going to beg you for. And when they get short squeezed, if they do get short squeezed, which could very well happen because they have a lot of contracts, we might see silver actually go down a few days. Maybe we see silver pull back to 25. You know, I doubt it, but it's possible. But the only way that would be possible is from major manipulation and buying shorts and betting against silver in the paper market. And you can do that in bulk. As you saw, it went over 100% on GameStop. They can go over 100% on their shorts. They can short as much as they want on the paper market. But that doesn't mean they have the physical. That doesn't mean that they can redeem those shorts into the physical. Their losses could be unlimited. If it continues to go up, their losses will just accumulate until they decide this is enough, pressure is enough, we got to get out of these short positions. And that inevitably would skyrocket silver. So owning the physical silver is the best possible thing you can do, and that puts you in the king's throne position with silver. Then it would be having a strategy of some way to buy the silver out of their own vaults, so they didn't even have access to cover their short positions. That would be the ultimate playbook on shorting, on the silver short squeeze, would be getting the silver from the markets first. So the market is begging for silver like it already is. The online retailers can literally not replace their silver in their vaults right now. So that's why they don't want to sell it. When I say I'm, one of these big online retailers that isn't selling silver right now, and I sell a 1,000-ounce silver bar, the first thing I do is rebuy a 1,000-ounce silver bar for less than what I just sold it for, because that's my business. I need to replace my inventory. Just like you sold out of your t-shirts. If you're a t-shirt company, you replace your t-shirts. Now, if your supplier of t-shirts said, hey, we don't have any more cotton to make your t-shirts, they're going to want more money for their t-shirts or they're not going to sell them because they don't have supply to more inventory. They can't get more inventory in their vault. So these silver companies are not able to replace the said silver. So they don't want to sell it in the first place until they figure out what the premium is. Now they got their pulse on the market, and maybe they sell a little bit of it, or maybe they don't sell it. But that's the situation that we're in. And so the more the demand increases and the supply gets taken out of the vaults and put into the retail audience hands, that's the first position that you're in. And you get the hype. They're talking about silver on the front page medias. They're getting it out there in social media now. And you got to thank WallStreetBets for that. Whether they did this directly or indirectly, they did it. They brought exposure to manipulated markets. You got to thank them for that. And now that it has brought exposure, the reason why my channel, all the people that subscribe to my channel, just so you guys know, my channel is all about tangible assets. I own Mineral Exchange. I talk about silver and gold. I talk about Bitcoin. I talk about, decentralized assets. Why did my channel, and I thank you for this, everybody that clicked subscribe and is part of this channel. Why did my channel go from 2,000 subscribers last Wednesday or Thursday? I did my first live feed that went semi-viral on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and now Monday night. Or is it Tuesday night? No, it's Tuesday night. I'm sorry. I'm losing track of time. In 5 days or less than 5 days, my channel went from 2,000 subscribers to nearly 11,000 subscribers. So if people don't believe the hype around silver is real, that tells you a lot. A small-time YouTuber's channel just went from 2,000 to 11,000. I haven't checked my subscribers yet, but all the people that have subscribed to this channel, thank you. Thank you so much. You might look at this channel and go, oh, it's, a somewhat, some people follow this YouTuber, 11,000. It's not a lot. It's not a little, it's somewhere in the middle. It really jumped tremendously from everybody wondering what's going on with silver. So to those that don't think the hype is real around silver, what happened with my channel was short squeezed. And is silver next? Is silver next? Because that's what we're talking about. That's what I'm bullish about. I've been big on silver for a very long time. That's why I have a company around it. What happens next? What happens next? How far does this go? Everybody that's helped me with my channel, thank you so much. I really appreciate you all. It's just crazy to look at my channel and even see 10K on there. It's like, whoa, that's wild to me. The fact that we have 1,000 people. When I used to do these live feeds, I've done quite a few of these live feeds, and I used to have 30, 40 people in them, and I was stoked about that. And now we have 1,000. We have 1,000 people in here. So thank you all. All my fellow silver squirrels out there, we kind of came up with that name together. I've always, in the business, I've always called other dealers squirrels. If you ask a dealer for, say someone asked me for this SS Garsopa, it's kind of like a funny thing that we say to each other in the industry, where it's like, hey, I want your SS Garsopa bar, Rob. What do you want? Put a price on it. I'm like, nope, not for sale. He's like, you squirrel. That's how the term gets used in the industry. And so that now that we have that industry term out there, it's kind of cool to see it spreading, and people are now there. We got a lot of silver squirrels. I even have there's a guy on Instagram. It's not me that created that channel, but there's a lot of hype around the silver squirrel my only Instagrams are Rob Sultan is me personally, and Mineral Exchange. Those are my two Instagrams, and this YouTube channel and my Facebook page. Those are all, that's me. Other than that, I don't even have a Twitter or anything. Maybe I should get on Twitter. Maybe that would be a good idea, but eventually I'll get onto that stuff as well. But right now, that's where I am. We got all kinds of silver squirrels in the house. And basically what a silver squirrel is somebody that holds their silver so much that they forgot about it, that their silver went into hibernation. And we are just squirrels, we're just creatures of habit, and we just stash our silver like acorns, and we stash it so well that we don't even remember where we put it. And that's a silver squirrel. Let's go to some more of these GDST rather. Thank you so much. I appreciate the $5, man. How much silver should we have? What do you see silver prices going to? Great question. I can only give my opinion on what I do personally. Myself, I am in the business, so there is that bias there as well. But myself personally, either where I put my business's money or whether I put my own money in this space, I have the most in silver. Of any amount of asset, whether it's a dollar, whether it's gold, whether it's silver, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's platinum, the most of my net worth is in silver myself personally, to the tune of roughly 50%. So a lot of my money is in silver. That's me personally. That's what I'm doing. I believe a lot in silver. I think it's extremely undervalued. I think gold hit its all-time high. If you want to talk more about the technicals, I want when I've been talking a lot, I get the burps a little bit. Let me drink a little bit of water. The first thing that you should do is spend money getting yourself informed, learning about the space, learning about physical silver, why it's money, why we're stacking it, learn about the space. So by watching this video, you're doing that, and you're doing it for free. So that's a great thing. Maybe if you get a lot of value from a channel like this, try to get, I don't get anything from saying this. I'm not, you know, I mean, I guess I'm affiliated with YouTube because I'm a YouTuber, but when I got that YouTube premium thing where I didn't have to watch the ads anymore, and I ended up, you know, having the ability to watch videos without being interrupted, put my earbud. The way I listen to a YouTube video, I do it with a video as well, because I think it's like Peter Schiff will do it occasionally he'll do a video, but mostly it's just sound. And so if you want to watch the video, if you want to see a crazy silver bar or something like that, I do the video in every single one. I never do like just a podcast with only the sound. I believe in video-based podcasts. I think video-based podcast is really the future of videos, or of YouTube in general, is video-based podcast, because you actually get real information out there. And I also don't like the whole cheesy like editing. I see a lot of YouTube channels that are doing this cheesy editing where they're trying to get you to watch the video all the way through. One of the biggest statistics with YouTube is if you watch the video all the way through. That helps the channel, and it helps them recommend those videos out there if you don't do just clickbait. You know, if you click on a YouTube video and it said something, you know, clickbaity in the title, and it really wasn't that content, you immediately click off of it and you don't watch the video all the way through. So a lot of people do cheesy editing to try to keep you in on their YouTube channel and keep you watching. I don't believe in that. I don't really believe in doing much editing at all, actually. I just go live and put the video out there, or I just shoot the video, just click, shoot, and put it up. Because I don't know, that's just the way I do things, and I don't believe in doing the overly edited stuff. But let's get back to this comment. Sorry, I'll start rambling. But back to the comment of, you know, how much money should you put in silver? The first thing you should do is put your money in investing in yourself, and that's just genuine or I can't say advice, but genuinely my opinion on what I would do if I had like $1,000 to my name. And I have been there, not very long ago. I've been there. If I had a lower amount of money to my name, I would invest in my own education first, and I would learn. And that's why I was talking about the YouTube Premium thing, because for $18 a month or whatever it costs, you can listen to unlimited content, learn a lot for pretty much a fraction of what college would rip you off for. So I found that to be a worthwhile thing. I didn't actually know about it until like 2 years ago, and I'm like, or a year and a half, of course. I'm like, you're kidding me. I could put my phone in my pocket and change app to app, and sorry. But I do think that helps. That would be what I would invest the money in myself, is something along the lines of education, whether it's a book on silver, whether it's, you know, learning more about the monetary systems, learning about the gold standard, learning about what fiat currency has become, what our deficit is, all of that stuff I'd learn first. But me personally, I have 50% of my net worth in silver. So I'm like a extremist on silver. So I don't recommend everybody do what I do. I can't recommend anything, but that's what I do personally. If I had a lower amount of money to put into it, I would invest in education first. Even if I had a higher amount of money to put in, I'd invest in education first. But silver is something that is stored value. It's stored money. So I just personally, I consider silver like my bank account. You know, it's like, I don't want the big banks to have my money for free. You know, like right now, do you know how I would do a lot of things? Let's just put it that way, to get a loan for 0.1% even. And they won't even give you that. They won't even give you that at these banks. You know, it's like 0.1%. I would love to have that loan. You know, whether it was $1 million at 0.1% annually, I would love that. That would help me tremendously with my business. But we don't get that for a business loan. You know, we don't get that. I don't have any loans on the business. Actually, the business only runs on its own cash, because I'm very lucky to have learned that in the beginning. But to get a loan like that, you can't. The average loan rate from like an actual investor that wants to give you a loan, they probably want collateral, and they would probably give you a loan at around 12% annually, which is about a point per month. So if you have $100,000 loan, you're paying 12 grand on that per year. You know, 12% annual loan that's about the going rate of a good loan, of somebody that actually liked you. you know? So for banks to get 100 grand from an individual that just wants to hold their money there, I mean, that is the greatest. What a great gig that is, you know? That's just the easiest way to put it. You want to take power away from the banks, you're giving them money for free. You're giving them a loan. Like I want to get to a point where the average public goes into a bank and goes, actually, buddy. I love that term, buddy. If somebody calls you buddy, you know that they're not your friend, really. You know, it's like, actually, buddy. You look at the banker across the teller or whatever, and you go, I'll let you hold my money, but I want 12%. You've been ripping me off for too long. 12% is the going rate. You want my money or not? No? All right, well, I'm putting it in silver because it'll pay me that, I think. You know, that's how I think people should start looking at these bankers. They should look across that counter and go, hey, I want 12%. Sick of your 0.1% giving you free loans. Sick of you giving free loans. Done with it. You know? That's how I feel about it. We got some people in the house. We got some more people jumping in the feed. I appreciate you all jumping in. We got 707 likes. 707 likes. Appreciate it. Everybody hitting that like button. You're helping more people get this information out there. You're helping my channel, and you're helping this information get out to more people. So I really appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for hitting that like button. Really does help. If you want to be a subscriber on this channel, would really love to have you as a subscriber. Again, this channel has grown from 2,000 subscribers to over 10,000 subscribers in less than a week. Insane. So thank you, everybody, for helping this channel grow so much. It really means a lot to me, and I don't take it for granted. It's why I want to continue to go live. It's why at 10:30 at night, I'm here in the warehouse live again, because I just really, really appreciate it. So thank you, everybody, that help this channel grow. All the people hitting the like, all the people hitting the subscribe. Really, really appreciate you. If I did miss your comment, if I missed one of your comments, please do shoot me a DM on my Instagram. I am answering every single DM. I'm sure I got back to a lot of you in the comments. I'm down to like 90 something left. But if you do send me a DM on my Instagram, I got a small Instagram, at Rob Sultan on Instagram, just one word, same as the YouTube. Shoot me a DM there if I miss your comment over here, and I will answer every single DM. That includes people that are interested in silver, trying to buy silver, trying to learn more about the markets. I will answer personally. That is me personally, not anybody else. It's not like I have 1 million followers over there on Instagram. I have like 1,000. So it's me personally. I own Mineral Exchange. My company is linked on that Instagram, Mineral Exchange. So if you want to reach out to me, that's how you can reach out to me. And I promise I will get back to you personally. It'll be me personally getting back to you personally if you shoot me a DM there. And that's the best way I could thank you all for all of the support you have given me here on YouTube. So thank you very much, and I'm happy to be there to help you in any way, shape, or form. I can't on YouTube. We can't message each other, I don't think. So Instagram is really helpful on the ability to DM each other. So everybody, thank you so much for all of the growth that you have given me here on YouTube, and all the people hitting the like and all of that for helping this video get out there to more people. I'm astonished by the rate of growth we have had on this channel, especially that I can't seem to figure out how to do these lives at a normal, decent hour. At least in the US, you know, so eventually I'll be able to do a live feed at a normal hour than 10:30 at night. But sometimes I get inspired at weird times. Let's do a brief metal market update. Let's take a look at the metals right now and talk about that for a little bit. Right now, silver is sitting at 27.07 right now, 27.07. Platinum is at 10.98. Notice how I focus on those two metals. It's very interesting that when metals go up, those two metals are the best performing when the others are kind of just slowly, you know, staying flat or slowly going up. I call that the industrial metal complex. It's like that's the situation that happens. The industrial metals are silver and platinum in my mind. I know there's the copper and everything, but the industrial precious metals, I should say, rather. Palladium is an industrial metal, and so is rhodium, but I focus on silver and platinum. Rhodium is like that really, really well-performing middle child that nobody looks at. Nobody gives them any attention, but just crushing it. Home runs left and right. Nobody's paying attention. It's just, it's a wrong thing that we do to rhodium. We don't treat rhodium right. We don't give rhodium any respect. It's just been outperforming left and right, home runs left and right, but for some reason we pay attention to his brother Johnny, and we don't give any attention to rhodium. It's just a sad thing that happens to rhodium. But it is very interesting that rhodium is sitting at 18,000 just on the bid, 20,000 on the ask. Absolutely astonishing. I sold a deal for 5 ounces of rhodium when it was in the low thousands. And I still am mad at myself. I'm like, that was $100,000. Oh my gosh. I sold it for like less than 10. Or no, it was a little bit more than that. But it's like, I can't believe how high rhodium has gone. But with silver, it doesn't surprise me, and I think I talked about this over the weekend as well. It doesn't surprise me to see silver getting a little bit of a pullback. I mean, realistically, it's had a really nice run even at 27. I remember I was making counter videos. There's a couple of YouTubers, I always call them the talking hands channels. You know, they just put their hands out there and think it's very fun to just talk into a mic with their hands. There. Make sure they have a nice manicure. Anyway, there's a couple channels that were doing these videos like, do this with silver now. Do this now with silver. You got to do this right now. Anybody that talks like that, never listen to them, because that is an emotional trade. If you get people trying to get you emotional just to watch your video, just to be able to click on something, that's just clickbait. And I don't respect channels that flip-flop back and forth. And even as this channel continues to grow, I still won't pay them any mind. Even if they have a lot of subscribers or something, I'm not going to pay them any mind, because there are so many channels that try to get their viewers emotional just to get a click. And I don't respect that. And so back then there was a channel that did that. And I believe silver was like 21. And I had gotten into it with this guy, and I'm not even going to say his name or anything, but I made a video literally countering him when I was just a small channel with a couple hundred subscribers and saying, hey, I'm an actual precious metals dealer, and I personally don't think you know what you're talking about, and you're spreading this to tens of thousands of people. You know, I don't think this is right. And it inspired me to continue to be making videos, so I got to thank him. But I don't believe in getting emotional about a trade. The most money you can ever make, and any big investor will say the same thing, is by sitting on your hands and believing in a long-term thesis, not getting into a hype bubble, not wanting a free lunch, not wanting something for some easy route. If it comes easy, it goes easy, and you don't respect it. All of the people that didn't take their profits on GameStop and let that money dwindle out of their account and didn't take profits and believed the people that said, oh no, we're going to keep pumping it, keep your money in there. Excuse me, you believe somebody that ended up dumping on you and took your money. And unfortunately, in today's day and age, greed is a lot more common than empathy. I'll repeat, greed, especially in Wall Street, you know, especially in the stock market, and it even occurs with the retail crowds. Greed is far more abundant than empathy. And people in GameStop are learning that now. Because if you want it easy, you want a Lambo tomorrow off $10, and you think your options trade that expires on Friday, and I know people are going to feel this. I know there's people in the audience that are going to feel this. But if you think your options trade that was $10 or whatever, I mean, probably a little bit more than that, and it expires on Friday, and it just became worthless because they dumped it on Monday, and I know that pain because I was an options trader at some point. I know exactly that pain very, very well. If I had just sat on the entire amount of Tesla that I had from the very beginning, one day I'll disclose how much Tesla shares I owned back in 2013. I started accumulating Tesla, and I learned about options trading from a friend that I still despise for teaching me options trading to this day, because if I'd kept those, I'd be worth about $5 million right now. But that should be a lesson to you all. That should be a lesson to you all that I had to feel very painfully, and I'm sure a lot of other people will have to feel painfully. If it comes easy, it goes easy. If you see that movement happening in your account, you're seeing those 10x movements, you're seeing these crazy movements, just know it goes just as fast. And an options trade expires worthless. If it's not in the money, and it expires worthless. So a lot of people are feeling that pain because they wanted that short-term easy money. They're just going to pump this thing to the moon. I know it. No, they were going to dump it on you. They were going to dump it on you, and they made a bunch of money off dumping it. So all of the other people that are up from GameStop being much lower than it is even currently, they're going to continue to dump it. Why wouldn't they? And if they don't dump it, the actual company will dump it by doing a secondary and diluting the shares and putting more shares in the open market and selling it to the people pumping it, because that's what they should have done at the all-time highs. I don't know why they didn't. I would have. I mean, maybe I'm just more, a cutthroat CEO or something, but I would have for sure dumped it would have absolutely dumped it as fast as I could. If I was the CEO of that company, I would have multiple meetings, multiple coffee meetings, and said, hey guys, we need to do a capital raise as fast as possible. What do we need to do a capital raise? How much can we raise? Let's do whatever we can to the maximum, because our company is not worth this. We got a very, very lucky stride here. Our company is not worth this. We need to take as much of this capital into our vaults as possible. Let's get into the treasury. That's what I would have done. And if they haven't done that, they definitely will be doing that, because it would be foolish to not do that. So either you're going to get the people that made a bunch of money dumping it and taking a profit, or you're going to get the actual company itself dumping it and taking a profit. So I stand by that. I haven't changed my thesis on that. I still don't. If GameStop was a company that I actually believed in, that I actually thought the business model was strong, like I do Tesla. Tesla's wildly overpriced right now, but I believe in Tesla. I think Tesla will be around 100 years from now, and it'll probably be the most valuable stock on the market at some point. It probably will be. However, they are valuing that stock in dollars. They are valuing that stock in dollars, and I don't value dollars the same way that the dollar index values dollars. So that's very interesting to me, and that's why I'm not really invested in the stock market, because they value stocks in dollars, and I think the dollar will crash. That's something I should have talked about when I did a metals market update real quick, but the dollar index right now doesn't make any sense to me, being at 91 and 8 cents makes no sense to me for the dollar index. One of the biggest things, the biggest indicator that you can look at is the dollar index on the Kitco app. Kitco app has it on the bottom over there. You look at the dollar index, and if the dollar index is falling, metals usually go up, because it's taking more dollars to buy metals. So if the dollar index collapses and goes to 50, let's say, all the stocks might remain flat. Now, this is the scenario. Like, if everybody asks me what I think is going to happen in the stock market, what probably will happen, in my personal opinion, you might not see the stock market collapse. You might see the stock market stay flat and stay dormant. You might see the stock that the Dow just stay at around 30,000 and just stay flat. But if you see the dollar index continue to go down and it's already at a lofty level, it makes no sense for the dollar index to be this high. If you see the dollar index go from 90 down to 80, down to 70, down to 60, down to 50, down to 45, let's just put this hypothetical out there. All the stocks might be at the same price. Your Tesla might still be 900 or wherever it is right now. But now it's essentially 450 while it's at 900, because the instrument that you're using to value that stock just lost half of its valuation, just lost half of its buying power. So all of the people that are sitting on a dollar, just know that it is burning on the other end due to inflation, due to them diluting it. I mean, we work for money they can print. And if you want to know what deflation is, what a deflation situation is what your wages are is deflationary. You know, if you get paid $4,000 a month or $3,000 a month, but the dollar is being dramatically diluted and your wage doesn't change, well, you got a problem there. And that's the problem that we're currently in with America. You know, the dollar is dramatically diluted due to an entity, and I repeat, an entity that is not the government, an entity that's called the Fed, that has printed and diluted our currency to the maximum. They printed more money than gold's entire market cap in 1 year. In 2020, they printed gold's entire market cap. All the gold in the entire world. They printed more than all the gold was worth. And then you got Yellen, the lead bingo player for the Treasury. She comes out from the bingo hall. I repeat, is it the bingo hall, or where did she come? I think it was the bingo hall that she was managing prior to going out there. I'm just taking a guess on that. I'm not 100%, but I genuinely feel she was from the bingo hall. Someone could correct me on that, but I think she was managing a bingo hall before she got in there. But I do think that's where they got her from. Not 100%, but she came out but again, I think she's from the bingo hall. Did I say that enough? I think bingo hall. But she came out there and said inflation doesn't exist. The dollar is going to get stronger and all of these things, and cryptocurrency bad, dollar good, is pretty much essentially what she says over and over again. What's that? You know, like Will Ferrell from like the Anchorman or something's like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. And like Sparks cigarette stuff is like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you, actually, Yellen. I don't believe you. So we got a lot of bingo hall members. I genuinely think the monetary system, like the Fed, all the people in charge of the Treasury, they kind of just went, you know what? Who do we get to run this place? Who do we get to run the Treasury of the United States of America? Where do we get these? Where do we get them? The bingo hall. That's where. Let's go to the Washington, D.C. bingo hall, the local bingo hall. We'll get them all. Bring them on in. Jerome Powell, Yellen, all of you. Come on down. We want all of you to run the entire world's monetary system. Let's go ahead. All the bingo players, come on over here. Get them out there and put them on camera. Let's go. All right, Yellen, here's your shot. This is what you say. You know, something like that. I think that it worked something along those lines. They just grabbed them out of the bingo hall and brought them right into the Fed. That's how I think it happened. And that's how we get people that say things like, you know, oh, the dollar is not going to be worthless. The dollar is going to be strengthening after we diluted it 10 trillion in 1 year and we have interest rates at 0. You want to know how fragile the dollar really is? Hey, Jerome, increase the interest rates. Just put it to 1%, like where it used to be. Put it up even 0.5% from 0%, Jerome. Go ahead. Let's see what happens, Jerome. Put it up just 1%. 0% to 1%. Put the interest rate to 1%. Let's see what happens. Do you know how fast the dollar would collapse? Do you know how fast it would go down? It would just overnight collapse if they put it up 1%. And they probably don't want me to be saying that. They probably don't want you to be liking this video. Shameless plug. If you like this video, more people will see it. But they will never, ever, ever, ever increase those interest rates. It's like a weighted door that the more they close it, they just can't open it again. They can't do it or else it's Pandora's box. That is literally what the interest rate is right now. It is Pandora's box. If they increase it at all, the house of cards is exposed. So they're going to keep it at 0% for the foreseeable future. And they are going to continue to kick the can down the road for the foreseeable future. And that is the genuine truth. That is real information. You will not see them increase the interest rate because if they do, they are owning up to their lies. They are owning up to their theft. They are owning up to their lies. And that is something these children, or who I like to say, bingo hall members, will never do. They will not own up to it. They will continue to keep the interest rate at 0. And that will never, ever happen. So that's why I like the idea of putting my money in silver. That's why I like the idea of putting my money in industrial precious metals. If you notice, I do not really promote gold. I think gold is better than the dollar. But if you notice, I don't really promote gold. I promote silver and platinum. That's what I personally like. I talk about what I personally put. I don't care if I make money off of gold. I know Peter Schiff makes money off gold, so he's always pushing gold. I believe in industrial metals that are actually used every single day, industrial metals that the general public can actually get control of. Gold, by the way, is held in central banks' vaults. You know, so although I like gold better than dollars, I also know where the gold is. It's in vaults controlled by central banks. Silver and platinum is a different situation because it's needed for industrial cases. It's needed for more industrial cases, far more industrial cases than monetary cases. And as the monetary case for these industrial metals continues to grow, and say 20% of it is used in monetary cases, then that changes to 50%. Then we see a situation where the price has to go up because the industry that needs that precious metal is going to pay more because the premiums are going to be higher. So the price has to change as the more monetary case changes. On platinum, I believe it's only like 10%. I think 90% of platinum is used in industrial cases at this point. If that changes to 50%, well, that 40% change towards being held as physical investment, now it puts a constraint on the industry where the industry has to pay more money for that industrial metal. So that's why I like industrial metals more than gold, because gold has like 10% of it used in industry, if that. If you take jewelry out of the picture, I mean, nobody's using gold. It's too expensive. So they're using silver for being a conductive metal and being a great metal for solar panels. That's what they're using silver in industry. They're not doing that with gold. It's the exact opposite. So if we looked at silver in the same way gold is currently valued as money, that would be, it just puts it into perspective just how crazy silver could be. Oh wow, what a number you chose, Wanda. What a number you chose. That's beautiful. What a beautiful thing. I really appreciate that, Wanda, but the specific number you chose, I love it. I love it. I love it. We have the best people in these live feeds, and I appreciate you so much, Wanda. She puts, U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 10 says, no state shall make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debt. Imagine that. Well said, Wanda. Well said. Perfect comment. Perfect timing on the comment. Well-informed comment. And it's a true comment. It is in our actual United States Constitution. And why did they write it like that? Why did they put that there in the Constitution, in the framework of this country? They didn't have the Fed in there because the Fed isn't part of the government. The Fed is its own entity that somehow exists and is able to do what they do, which is absolutely, I could talk hours on that. But it is insanity that we have let debt go into this situation of pieces of paper. Our grandkids and their grandkids are going to look back on us and go, did you really believe pieces of paper were money? Did you guys really stack pieces of paper to your head and act like you were wealthy? Did you really do that? Like, you believe that? Here's what's so crazy to me. It's like almost like a game. It's like a gimmick, They made the money colored like Monopoly. So it wasn't enough that it was already paper and it didn't make any sense and it was not real money. They made it colors. They turned $100 bills blue. They turned $10 bills orange. They turned red. I believe Monopoly money is red for the $5 bill and orange for the 10. Is it not? Can you guys double check that for me, all the people in the live feed? I'm pretty sure they copied the colors of Monopoly money. Like, it wasn't enough that the money was Monopoly money. I think they had to actually copy the real colors. Could you imagine them just giggling at the top? Just giggling. Like, they believe it's money so much we could change it to the real colors of Monopoly money. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like, it's just crazy. Oh, we won't even give them real copper in their pennies. No way. No way. We used to give them real copper, real silver in their quarters. We're not going to do none of that. They'll get clad and, not even copper in the pennies. We'll give them clad for their quarters. We'll give them, their Sacagawea dollars, those little gold dollars we give them. We used to give them a real ounce of gold in their $20, coins. We used to give them a lib cap, or we used to give them a St. Gaudens. But now, you know what? And their $5 Eagles and all of their gold coins we used to give them. Let's go ahead and just make it plated in fake gold, not even real gold plated, like a fake coin that's plated in fake gold and all fake metals that are cheap. And matter of fact, the metals are so cheap and they are so cheap themselves that it's even too expensive to produce these fake metal coins. So they're not even going to want to do that. They're just going to take those out of the picture too, because it's too expensive to make fake money. Go figure. Go figure. That's the truth. Just bought 400 ounces of silver. Let's go. Fletcher, congratulations. That's awesome. Copper penny is now worth 3 cents from the copper content. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that interesting? It's made from zinc. Yep, zinc. And that's too expensive for them. That's too expensive for them. You don't want to make your fake money out of fake materials. And, talk about AMC. I don't believe in AMC. I think that it's going to continue to go down. I think it's still overvalued at this point. I avoid the hype and I stick to what I believe in. Bitcoin, see, you know what? I'm going to address that question, Joel Colombo. I'm going to address that question. I'm going to get to the super chat. Rob, WallStreetBets. I'm going to address that comment too, though, that you just said, because I don't agree with you on Bitcoin, but I appreciate you bringing it up. But AY says, Rob, WallStreetBets people are married to GME and AMC, pretty much divided in there. That's what most of the followers left. That's why most of the followers left and created Wall Street Silver. Break the COMEX hashtag. That's a great comment, you know, AY. I really appreciate the $11. I don't want to miss any. If I missed your super chat, please let me know. But I'm doing my best to make sure I don't miss a single super chat because I really, really appreciate it. It does add up and it does help me create videos and everything. I really appreciate it. But I agree. You know, it's like, why be married to two stocks? Just a crash course on how hedge funds make their money. Just a crash course on how hedge funds make their money is they love volatility. They love volatility. That's how they make their money. They love volatility. So when you have a stock that you not only are you giving them the volatility that's basically their ice cream. They love volatility. You're satisfying their sweet tooth by giving them volatility. That's what hedge funds love, because guess what? You are playing them very fast. Imagine you're playing like a game with them very fast, and they have your playbook before doing those fast movements. So it's like playing chess with somebody in a very fast, unthought out manner versus somebody that can literally slow the game down and knows your moves. That's the best way to put it. They know your moves prior to doing it. So you're literally, just to repeat it, you're playing a game of chess with a hedge fund fast and not thinking about your movements on the chessboard. You know, knight here, queen here, king here, pawn here. You're just going fast as can be. And they, on the other side, get to have a lot of time, and the game is slowed down for them. And that's not good enough. They also know your moves before you're doing them. Better yet, they're using your own playbook against you by using your own money against you because you gave them your money that's in their bank. So they're using your bank account money to play chess slow against you, who is forced to play chess fast with them while giving them your moves beforehand. That's the real truth of what's happening there. So you want to go pump GameStop, you're making them money. You want to go pump AMC, you're making them money because they are well informed on what you are doing. They know exactly what you're doing, and they are making money off of it every single day, and they will inevitably drop it on everybody that wanted to make a quick buck. If you want to make a quick buck, it won't work. And if it does work, you're going to get hurt at some point, because if it comes easy, it goes easy. And I have learned that the hard way. That's why I built my own company. That's why I do everything now with as much of my own physical labor as I personally can. I don't want anything for free. I don't want any free handouts because I want to work for it. I believe the more free stuff you take, the less freedom you have. You can choose. And that's why we don't see libertarians in politics. We don't see libertarians in politics. We see people that give away free stuff because free stuff is sexy. People like free stuff. Oh, I'm going to give you, look back at what politicians say. Well, we're going to give you this for free, and we're going to give you that for free. Free healthcare, free this, free that, free everything, all for you. Free, 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 free. You never hear people telling you, I want to get you freedom. And you know what? It's going to be hard to get freedom, but you're going to have to not get free stuff. You're going to have to work for it. It's not an easy thing, freedom. You know? It's what the founding fathers believed in. You know, that's what the founding fathers believed in. Not free stuff. Not free stuff. No more free stuff. If I had to make a t-shirt, I'd make a t-shirt like that. No more free stuff. We want freedom. We're sick of it. We're sick of the free stuff. We want freedom. So, I call a spade, and I'll tell the truth till I have no more breath in my lungs. I'm not afraid to tell the truth. And like I said, when it comes to silver, put my money where my mouth is. This is actually a different 1,000 ounces of silver than I had the other day. I know somebody said the other day, like, oh, he probably leases that from some wealthy person. You know, well, I got another one. I'll lease another one. But I put my money where my mouth is when it comes to silver. I put everything if I talk about it, if I preach it, I practice what I preach. I don't just preach it. And I don't care if you buy it from me. I don't care if you buy it from Peter Schiff. I don't care where you buy it, as long as you know the real information and you can make your own educated decision on what you are doing with your own capital. But personally, I don't want to play chess against somebody that can move slow when I have to move fast. I don't want to play chess with somebody that knows my moves before I make them and has them just written right there on the right side on their supercomputers going, oh yeah, he bought AMC for this price. Oh, he bought those calls. They all bought those calls. Okay, interesting. Yeah, let's do this against that. Perfect. Let's make their money. Thank you. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. It's the truth. And if nobody's going to tell it like it is, I'll tell it like it is. That's the truth. And in this world, nothing is free. And if you get something for free, there's going to be a string attached. There's going to be a string attached. Nothing is free except for hitting that subscribe button. That's free. So if you want to do that, I guess there's one thing that's free. You click the subscribe button, that's free. But or if you follow on Instagram, that's free as well. I will answer your questions on Instagram as well. That is free as well. But the truth is, if you take freedom, you lose. The best. If you take free stuff, you lose your freedom. And you got to choose one or the other. You can't have both. You can't have both because you get free stuff, you owe something to somebody. And that free stuff ends up being added to the deficit. And that's why our deficit is at all-time highs. So that's the truth. That's really the hard truth. In America, the two biggest problems is the love of free stuff and the comfort. Comfort is the enemy. The more comfortable you become, and the worst part is right now, people are comfortable. They're comfortable not going back to work because some people are making more money on unemployment than they're used to make by going to a job. You think they want to work at the job that they didn't really like in the first place, or they want to just take a free, easy check? Yeah, they're going to choose the free, easy check. Who wouldn't? Would you blame them? If that opportunity's there, I would. Obviously, personally myself, I would take that free check and try to build a business with it so I could get more and build something myself and not have to rely on a free check. But the thing is, it's like that system of free stuff, it leads to our downfall because eventually we're just puppets that have a lot of strings attached to our back. I like to say it's something along the lines of, in the days of like the mob, right? If you took their money, you took $100,000 from one of them in New York, right? When they ran the show over there, you think you could just pay them back $100,000 and just skate away from them? No, you took that money and you just lost your freedom. That's how it works. You took that money. It doesn't matter if you pay them back all that money. You took it. You took it in the first place. Now they got their hand on you, and they always will get their hand on you. And that's how I feel about the systems we have right now. It's if you let them be in control of the monetary system, they're going to do some corrupt stuff. And that's why this will go back to the Bitcoin argument. I want to talk about Bitcoin for a minute here. I'm going to try to keep this live feed to 2 minutes or 2 hours rather, so I don't keep everybody for too long. I know that some people were like, I saw some comments on the last one, like 6 hours. I appreciate it, but you're crazy. Like I can't sit here for 6 hours. So maybe, 2 hours is the way to go. 2 hours is the way to go. We'll try to keep it around that range. But if you decide to subscribe to this channel and click that bell after subscribing, it's free to do it. You click that bell, it'll notify you of all future live feeds, all future videos. Appreciate all of you being here for as long as you have and helping me grow this page into what it is today. I can't begin to thank you enough because we are getting this out there to the masses, and it's just crazy to me, the growth of this page. And if people don't believe in the hype of silver, well, this channel just grew from 2,000 subscribers to over 10,000 subscribers in less than a week. And I'm a silver-based channel. So I think the hype is kind of real around silver. And if all the dealers like myself are begging for more silver and paying premiums on silver, I believe the hype is real. So it doesn't matter. To answer the question of the title of this video, it doesn't matter if WallStreetBets came up with it or if they just rather expose to the masses manipulated markets and to look out for manipulated markets. Before, we were just investing in stocks and investing in things. Now, the general public is looking for manipulated markets. One of the most manipulated markets of all time, if not the most manipulated market of all time, is the precious metals market. JP Morgan has been getting away with it forever. And it is about time the people knew about it, and we the people decided to go back to constitutional money. What Wanda earlier said is our actual money that's written in our Constitution. It's there for a reason. The reason it's written in the Constitution is so that it preserved the wealth of the common folk. That is why it is there, because it doesn't matter if we don't trust the dollar anymore. At that time, if our dollars were Morgan silver dollars, it didn't matter if we didn't trust the dollar. We had silver. It didn't matter if we didn't trust the dollar. We had gold. You could use that money anywhere in the world because that money was actual stored value. It was stored intrinsic value. There is nothing intrinsically valuable about being able to run a printing press. Better yet, there is nothing intrinsically valuable about being able to poof money digitally into the system and pump up our markets and keep interest rates at zero. Matter of fact, it's pretty criminal. It's pretty criminal in my opinion. And that's what we have. That's what we have. We have a situation where money is created from nothing and you can't get something from nothing. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. You know, you have to make something to get something. But for some reason, we have let them get away with making something from nothing. And if you want a crash course in economics, that's really just it's as simple as that. You can't get something from nothing. If you want something, you got to make something. That's how the economies have always worked. We make something, you pay me for my something. Not we inject this for free and you believe me. That never was part of the world economies. That never was it. It was always, I make something, you pay me something that I consider valuable, and we exchange. That's how the world works. But for some reason, we decided to just go, or not we, but they decided to just go, we said it is. You believe us. We printed it, it's there, we said it, it is. It's really weird. It's a weird system. It's a weird system that we have, and it's not right. And in this situation that we're in now, the only thing that happens is the rich are going to get richer and the poor are going to get poorer, and they're going to do so willingly without even knowing the difference. And it's sad. And you see people pumping GameStop and you see people pumping AMC, thinking they can make a quick buck with whatever little money the common folk has left, because the wealth divide is ridiculously large. Ridiculously, the gap is insanely divided. And it's sad to see it. And that's why over the entire weekend I'm watching and going, I know more than half of the people in my live feed, like on Saturday and Sunday, are trying to pump GameStop and make a quick buck out of it on Monday, Tuesday. And they're doing so willingly because they have been falsely taught that they are sticking it to the man. But realistically, the man is profiting a ton off of the pumping in GameStop. And they have way more resources than you do. Way more, including your playbook, including what you're doing, your chess moves. They know it ahead of time. And it's Robinhood that's guilty of that. Again, back to the argument, nothing is free. If you take free stuff, this is the perfect tie to Robinhood. If you take their free stuff, just like we take free stuff from our government, if you take free stuff from Robinhood, you lose your freedom because they gave your trade, your playbook. You took their free stuff, and then they gave away your trade information to the hedge funds that you're so against. That's what happened. Because how does Robinhood make money? Ask yourself that. How does a company have a valuation and is worth money and makes money and pays their employees and all of these things? How do they make money if they give away free stuff? They give away free trades. How do they make money? They get that money by giving up that information to the hedge funds. And that's why they created a trapdoor where all you could do was sell GameStop. That's all you could do. You couldn't buy it. If they were really even the slightest, this is Vladimir. And then Vladimir. This guy has no remorse, doesn't care about anything that he did, doesn't show any empathy for the small, what Robinhood stood for. The CEO of Robinhood is literally there grinning, doubling down on what he said. Doubling down. We did the right decision. Me and my employees, we made the right decision. Just grinning ear to ear, caught red-handed. It's like he's grinning so much that you wonder if these strings are attached to his mouth that are controlled by Citron. You wonder if he has like this. That's the only reason he keeps a smile so plastered on his face like that the strings are attached by Citron pulling at him. That's what I think is going on there, because this guy is oozing fake, oozing it from every pore of his face, oozing fake. Sickening. And he had the nerve and the audacity to show his face publicly on CNBC. and then double down on what he did. No, what he did is he created a trap door that all you could do was go down. And who probably had the puts prior to doing that was none other than Citron and the hedge funds that back his company. The people that are in his pockets, this is just my opinion, by the way, not to be taken as fact or whatever. Just say that, just disclaimer, because Vladimir, who knows what he'll do. He'll send some type of lawyers or whatever, but just my opinion. I think that what they did is they had their pockets lined by the hedge funds, and the hedge funds were going bankrupt, and they went, oh, wait, the people who write our checks, you know, we actually are doing Robinhood. We're actually doing what our company name is. Like, what a name he chose, Robinhood. So we literally had a situation of Robinhood, which is taking the money from the rich and giving it to the poor. We literally were doing that. And then he made sure that didn't happen because he takes the money from the rich and he takes the money away from the poor. His business model is taking the money from the rich to give the poor information, or I don't want to call people poor, but we are poor compared to the hedge funds. That includes myself. You know, we are common folk. So I should just say common folk. He takes money from the rich so that he can give the rich more money. That's his business model. That's not Robinhood. That's some weird other character. Takes from the rich to give more money back to the rich. That's the goal there. And the money comes from the common folk and giving away their playbook. Go figure. Robinhood. Robinhood. Delete the app today. That's what their new spokes situation should be. Robinhood. Robinhood. Delete us today. Thank you. That's the new pitch for Robinhood. That's my personal pitch for Robinhood. And that's, again, just my opinion. Nothing to be taken as fact. Could be completely wrong. Who knows? Could be completely wrong. Just my opinion of the situation. Just my opinion. We're allowed to have opinions these days, right? So, yeah, I know most trading apps run that model. I know that. Robinhood does so more. That's their entire business model because they give away trades for free. Last time I checked, you have to at least pay something. And those other ones that you actually had to pay allowed you to buy and sell GameStop. They allowed you to buy, rather. Robinhood only allowed you to sell, and they had a large amount of it. But that's even more reason for what I'm saying. Hang on, let me get to these. 772 Hustler. He says, I wonder if your viewers know during the Great Depression, President Roosevelt created an executive order to force the people to turn in all their gold or go to prison. It was all great robbery by J.P. Morgan and the Rockefellers. It's true. It's true that he created it was that executive order to take the gold from the public actually did go through. Now, I wonder what would happen in today's world if that went down. But that is why I personally choose industrial metals myself, because gold has been considered money forever. Its only value is that it is a unit of measurement of money. That's really what gold is used for. They can say it's used for electronics and they can say that it has other industrial uses, but really it's used for money. Silver, on the other hand, is more used in industrial cases. You can't say, hey, we outlawed silver so we can't have solar panels. You can't do that. You're going to have to be able to use it in industry. So you can't do the same thing with silver. That's why I like silver so much, and platinum, because you can't outlaw it. You can try, I guess, and I just don't think it would work because you need it in industrial cases. But what you did say is true. They did outlaw the ability to hold gold and you had to turn it in. It's pretty crazy that did happen. I believe it was in 1933, but you are correct that did happen by President Roosevelt. I'm curious what would happen if they did that today, and that is why I also like Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is stored in the ether. And to those that think Bitcoin isn't any intrinsic value to it, I disagree with that strongly, and I should make a video just on that. I should make a video just on why I think Bitcoin has intrinsic value to it, and I might do that. I've been doing these live feeds because it's just been so cool to be able to talk to people in real time and get to know everybody in here. But you know, I'm going to start doing a lot more just point and shoot content and go back to doing just regular videos on this channel to get across a point in multiple subjects. And I might just do a few days where I just only make these videos, like what is Bitcoin? Why is Bitcoin unique? You know, how does Bitcoin have intrinsic value, and why I think Peter Schiff is wrong about it. I've done that video a few times, 3 times to be exact. But I believe in storing wealth in a decentralized way, and decentralized means outside of the bank's control. So that's what I personally believe, but it is true that they did outlaw gold in 1933. It's a far different world then than we have today, but I'd be curious if they could ever pull that off again. Very, very curious. I wouldn't bet on it myself. I think that they couldn't do that in today's world because it's a little bit of a different world than it was in 1933, but it did happen in the past. AY says, social media giants have started censoring Silver Squeeze. Would appreciate it if you can come to the Wall Street Silver Reddit page. Thank you, Rob. You know, I'll check it out. I'll check it out and look at it. I just want to make sure that people know that I am not a hype guy. I am a precious metal salesman. I love silver myself. I keep my money in silver. I have my money where my mouth is. That's where I am myself. So I can't be the person that has it and also is hyping it in the same way. Like, I have to be giving out information, make sure that my information is not to be taken as financial advice. So I'm not here trying to just hype something up. I'm here to tell you what I personally believe, my opinion on it, and you have to take this information and draw your own opinion and make your own choices. I am in no way in any of these videos giving out advice. I'm giving out financial education on my opinion and what I'm doing myself. So I just want to firmly say that. Because this is some sensitive information here. Hang on, let me say. If dealers stop us from being able to purchase or there is no physical left, would buying PLSV then demanding delivery be a good bet? Personally, like in my opinion, I would say yes. I would say yes. And it's interesting, too, that that money is held at the Royal Canadian Mint rather than being held in JP Morgan's vaults. So just knowing that fact alone, I have a lot of people digging into SLV for me, including one of my friends who's a lawyer, digging into SLV and looking into the framework of it, which I will be dropping a video on this page. So if you want to be subscribed to my page, I will be dropping a video on SLV and all the intricate details, all the fine print that nobody is talking about. That's what I'm going to make a video on this channel in the very near future, because I think that information needs to get out there. But on the surface, from what I've read with PSLV versus SLV, is PSLV is held by the Royal Canadian Mint, which is much more safe than being held by the person that's been caught for manipulating the metals market many, many times. So for whatever that's worth, of the two, I would say PLSV is the safer bet myself. That's what I personally think. But great question, Liam. I missed your super chat from earlier. Hang on. Rob has the Midas touch, turning GME into silver. I love it. Silver hands. Appreciate that, Vincent Farrow. Hang on. I'm trying to find your other super chat. I can't find it. But if you wrote what it was in that comment, I would have saw it. Hang on, I see your name here. Ultimate Power. If you write another comment, I'll see it. I'm looking right now, but I can't find your other one. Said, yo, you missed my super chat from earlier. I'm sorry about that, but if you write another comment, I'll look for it. Just, you don't have to do another super chat, but if you write it, I'll find you. Darn. I painted plastic board game pieces and made a great amount. Love silver always. Cheers, mate. Painted a plastic board game pieces. I paint plastic board game pieces and made a great amount. Oh, right on. So you started a business and he loves silver always. I appreciate that, Lord Gray. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And congrats on your success. Hang on. Let me get to some of these. To the individual that said I missed your super chat, Ultimate Power, if you write a comment, I'll look for you. I'm looking for it. Hang on. He says, thank you, man. Here he is. Thank you, man. Had a high school ring made of rhodium when it was cheap from 10 years ago. That's awesome. That's awesome. Was that the thing I missed? Or if you had a question or something, I was looking for your comment to see if I I missed it, but Ultimate Power, he says he had a ring made from rhodium. Congrats. I mean, I hope you still have it. That rhodium became worth a lot of money. I'm going to answer a few more questions here. I'll try to get to all of them, or at least a good amount of them. Yeah, that's what I missed. Okay. Well, congratulations, man. I'd hang on to that thing. That rhodium is just worth a fortune now. 20,000 per ounce rhodium. 20,000 per ounce. It's insane. Yes, please make a video on why Bitcoin has intrinsic value. Definitely wondering on Bitcoins and coins. You know what? I will say, I will go over that right now. Can you read an article by Eric Sprott regarding recent silver events? It's titled Why Silver Longs from Eric Sprott Can Defeat Silver Shorts in Education in 4D Chess. I will definitely look at it. You know, Eric Sprott, hang on. I always remember stuff by taking a picture of it. Hang on. Eric Sprott, huh? All right, I got a picture of your comment, so I will remember that, and I'll look into it. I appreciate the tip. Sorry for spamming. I'm curious. What were you spamming about? What should I say to those who use the hedge fund managers who are the shareholders of silver as an argument? That's a great question, Alan. I would say that I have the physical silver, and they say they're the shareholders of silver. Well, for how if you continue to see the silver market go up, they are the leaders of manipulation. So if it goes up, they might be playing both sides of the fence, but they have been outplaying the short side because they have been holding down silver for so long that people have forgotten the value of silver. It's supposed to be 16 to 1. The value of silver to gold should be 16 to 1, which means for 1 ounce of gold, you should have 16 ounces of silver. And right now it's over 50 to 1 or well over that. So the ratio is supposed to be 16 to 1 historically, and we're not there. And so if it continues to go up, the best argument against that, actually, if you were to, I did debate class. I dropped out of college, but the one class I really liked in college was debate team. And what you try to do when you're on a debate team, or if you're doing a debate, you try to find the one point that is like the needle to their argument, and they have nowhere to stand on that. The needle to the balloon of that argument, if someone says, and this is the main argument against silver, is, you know, oh, well, you're helping the banks. If you do that, the banks have the long position in silver. The banks have your money. Let's be frank here. The banks have your money and are using your money against you. Excuse me. If you take your money from the people that are using your money against you and put it into silver, then you essentially have taken away their power, because they are using your money, giving you no interest against your money. Why do you think they give you no interest? So they can use your money for cheap. That's why they give you like no interest on your money when you give it to them at the bank. Or they used to give you a CD, which means you had to lock up your money with them to use and make money off of your money, and they would pay you a small interest rate. Nowadays, those CDs don't even get you like a couple percent. They give you nothing. So you're basically giving them a free loan when you give them your money. And if you take your money out and you put it into decentralized assets like silver, like Bitcoin, like gold, where's that money now? That's the needle to their argument. That's the needle to their balloon of an argument, because you just essentially took away the bank's power. You essentially took away their cash flow. And if you take away any business's cash flow, they're in shambles. So you take away their money, you take away their power. So that is the answer to that question. If someone wanted to bring up, if that was the debate brought to me, I would say, okay, do you believe in letting them hold your money? Like, is that where you want your money to be? Do you want them to have it in their vault? Do you want to give them your money and then they can have 0% interest rates and just give out in loans at will and inflate their capital? Because they can, like, you got to remember, they can 10x and more your money. So if you give them 1,000, they can give out 10,000 in loans against your 1,000. That's why if everybody went to the banks to get their money out, they wouldn't be able to supply it. It's very interesting, the situation that we're in with these banks and how overly extended they are with your money. In my business, you get a lot of people that will go bankrupt because they overly extended themselves and they can't pay the debt that they overextended themselves on. I don't believe in debt. I mean, I believe in it when I'm capable of having debt. So I believe what in Robert Kiyosaki's teachings, I think debt can be very powerful if you know how to use it. But these banks are overextended in debt. They have used your money as leverage far greater than they could. And that's why they get bailed out by the same people they diluted the currency on. And in 2011, when Bank of America goes bankrupt in 2008, what did we do? We were forced to bail them out with the currency that they diluted in the first place. We should have let Bank of America fail. We should have let Bank of America fail and thrown the book at them and said, hey, you gave out bad loans. You diluted our money. We, the people, said you failed, and kick rocks. Pound sand. You know, we don't care. Get going. That's the truth. You know, kick rocks, Bank of America. You should have gone bankrupt. We don't believe in free stuff. You did. We don't. You failed. You gave out bad loans. We don't care about your executive team that just skated away with millions of dollars, billions of dollars. We don't care about any of that. You failed. We're not paying you. We're not bailing you out. And on top of it, you diluted our currency. As a matter of fact, you owe us. So when you go bankrupt, we want your assets too. That's how it should have went down. Instead, they got bailed out with the money they diluted, and we, the people, got tricked into bailing them out. So how do you take the power away from the bank, and how do you counter that argument, which is a great question that you just said? Take away the money from them. Take away the money from them, and you put it into something where you have control of that money, and they don't. Simply put, there is no counter to that. They have no, the opposing argument has no counter to that. So that would be the ultimate argument. Physical, you know, someone just messaged me that on my Instagram and said, you know, physical really is the only way. And the last live feed I did, I said I'm majority physical. Every single live feed I said, obviously physical is the way. But I also said that I'm learning about SLV and I'm curious about SLV and I want more information about it. And so I even actually have my friend who is a lawyer, a very, very sharp lawyer, I might add, buddy Michael, if you're watching this. He is digging into the details and he knows the details and he is giving me all of that information. And we are going to put that in a beautiful video for you all to see the real information of SLV, and we will get to the bottom of it. But the truth is physical is the way. Physical first, physical, physical, physical. We will look into PSLV. We will look into SLV. We will find out how to get the silver from the banks themselves. That would be beautiful. But in the meantime, physical is the way. In the meantime, physical is the way. So with that being said, everybody, oh yeah, the last thing I wanted to talk about is how Bitcoin has an intrinsic value. I guess that's a bit of an off subject here. I got that question quite a bit. The number one thing about Bitcoin having an intrinsic value of some kind, whether somebody believes it's worth its current valuation or not, the reason I think it's not a zero, that would be the way I'd phrase this argument. You either think Bitcoin is zero or it's worth something. The reason I choose the argument, I'm not making the argument that it's worth what it's worth right now, although I will make that argument. In this specific scenario, I'm just making the argument that it is worth something. What is valuable is you have a network. So it's not just that any coin can surface over time. You have a network of miners around the world in every country that are mining Bitcoin. And the thing that a lot of people overlook is they are not just mining Bitcoin. After 21 million Bitcoin are made, they are then processing the transactions for Bitcoin. So if I want to send Jim 100,000 worth of Bitcoin, if I want to send Jim 100,000 worth of Bitcoin, I have to pay the network the wire transfer fee, so to speak, to move that money to Jim. So that's who's paying the network. The network is like how we pay a central bank or a commercial bank 25 or 35 bucks to do a wire transfer that takes, a whole day. You got to fill out all this information. It's extremely annoying to do a wire transfer. I do them all the time. You have to pay the bank a fee to do that. Sometimes it's usually about 35 bucks, 25 bucks if you're lucky. You send that wire transfer. Now that person who accepts the wire transfer has to pay probably 15 bucks to even accept the wire transfer. So they make money on that movement. The intrinsic value of Bitcoin is not just the fact that they have to mine the Bitcoin and all the labor costs of the computers and the cost of the computers and the cost of electricity and all of that, but also the fact that that network is in place and viable. to move that money around. And so you have that beautiful thing. You can't tell a gold miner to mine nickel. You can't tell a gold miner to mine zinc. They're going to mine gold because it's worth more. So this network is making money off Bitcoin, and they're not going to switch from Bitcoin to Dogecoin. They're not going to switch from Bitcoin to Ethereum even. They're going to be mining Bitcoin. That's where I think the value is there, and why I hold Bitcoin and I continue to not sell my Bitcoin. I just hold it and continue to keep it as a speculative play. But I think the idea that there's a network in place that can move money around like that and then reward the miners for processing those transactions, and you can pay the miners more money to process those transactions. So if I want that 100 grand I was talking about to go to gym very fast, I can pay the network more Satoshis to make that network, that transaction instantaneous. Or if I don't care, I could say I want to pay the bare minimum of Satoshis, and if it gets to him within the next day, I'm happy, or the next 2 days, I'm happy. So that's the way Bitcoin works. That's very interesting to me. And it's finite. So it's like all those different things I think that is being overlooked by the gold crowd. I think it's very interesting. That's how I see the whole situation there. But with that being said, we have officially almost done 2 hours and 30 minutes. I think accumulatively, we have done like there was like a 4-hour live feed, a 6-hour live feed, another 4 or 3 hour one, and then a 2.5 one. So we're almost getting up there on these live feed hours, everybody. So everybody, I really appreciate y'all. I'm going to keep doing these live feeds kind of impromptu basis for now. I mean, I've been live in the past week. In the past 7 days, I've been live 4 times now. So I will continue to do these live feeds, and I think we can make a consistent schedule about them. Maybe every Friday at a bare minimum, we'll make a schedule about it, and all the silver squirrels can get together, and we can talk in the comments, and we can get to know each other better. And it's been a real honor getting to know all of you, and I really appreciate all of you for being here. Seriously, I know I've said this a million times, and I know at this point it's getting cheesy, but I'm just extremely humbled that you are all willing to listen and be around here and even check me when I need to be checked. You know, everybody needs to be checked at times. You know, there's times I might say something that's wrong. You know, all these videos, there might be something I say is something wrong, but the difference is I got 854 people to check me if I'm wrong. 854 people in here right now that can put their opinion out there, and we all can talk. And I will give you my word that I will never, ever suppress your comments over there. So all the comments, even people that don't like me, I let them fly, and I let those comments go through. And that way we have a great chat room to talk about all these subjects, because we can't just be one-sided here. Like the arguments, there was somebody that said the argument of, you know, the opposers of silver and says, oh, well, the banks own silver. Okay, well, the banks own your money. That's like the mic drop moment. It's like, okay, the banks own silver. Great, the banks own your money. And they use your money against you. Not only do they use that money against you, but they multiply your money against you by not having to have any limits on your money. This isn't a reserve bank you're dealing with. The best thing you can do is look up the difference, and I'll probably make a video on this, but look up the difference between a reserve bank and a commercial bank that we currently have. Look up reserve versus our current commercial bank. The difference between the two, a reserve bank has to hold the money there. So if you give a reserve bank $100,000, they will charge you to hold the money in the reserve bank, because guess what? They keep your 100 grand there. They don't use it. They can't give out loans against it. They have to hold your 100 grand there in a reserve bank. That's why it actually costs you an interest to keep your money at a reserve bank. That tells you everything about what's going on in our current system. If you give a regular bank like JP Morgan, like Bank of America, your 100 grand, they can give out unlimited loans at their own discretion against that money. So they multiply that money at will and make a fortune off of it. They're trading with that money. They're using that money against you as leverage. So if you take your money away from them and you put it into silver, then those people that said, oh, well, the banks own the silver, well, the banks make a lot more from your money being there. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you that. They make a lot of money from using your money against you with their buddies over at Robinhood named Vladimir. And I think that's a great way to end this live feed. Thank you all so much for being part of this. It's always a blast being here and checking in with the fellow silver squirrels. Thank you. He's sitting in his undies. I'm not sitting. I lifted this silver bar earlier, you know, so it's not true. You can look it up in the video. I did a curl with the silver bar. We curled it one time. All right. So not true, but hey, you never know. Peter Schiff never puts a video out there with this. He's always doing it just the mic. You never know what Peter Schiff's probably in his underwear, probably. Just saying, maybe. We don't know because there's no video of him. But one day we'll get Peter Schiff to be able to do this channel. We'll be able to have a video with him. He wouldn't listen to me when I was calling him out much earlier. Oh, we got 20 likes to 1,000. 20 likes to 1,000. Somebody's saying you didn't like it. We didn't hit 1,000 yet. I can't do it. This bar looks pretty crusty, guys. I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could lick this one. This one was on the ocean floor for a while. It might be salty or something. You know, this thing was sitting on the bottom of the ocean floor, 2,000 miles down there. So a little bit crusty one here. But eventually, I was saying we will get Peter Schiff to be able to talk about this thing because I think he is scared. And he loves talking bad about Bitcoin, but I think he's scared of somebody who owns a precious metals company being for Bitcoin. I think he's scared of that because I have always been the industrial precious metals guy. I believe in silver. I believe in platinum. I went against Mike Maloney on platinum because I thought he was wrong about it. Turns out he was wrong about it. But silver, I believe in silver more than gold. Now, Peter Schiff probably doesn't want to hear that because I can prove a very valid point for that. I can also prove a very valid point that he is wrong about Bitcoin and will continue to be wrong about Bitcoin. So he's probably very scared, I would imagine. I would imagine Peter Schiff is scared. And maybe one day he won't be scared. But until then, I would love to talk with him. I would love to talk with him, but that's how I feel about that situation. But one day we will get him in this live feed. I appreciate all of you, all my fellow silver squirrels out there. And I will make you, everybody that subscribes to me, everybody that's hit that like button that helps my videos get out there. I really appreciate you so much. If you follow me on Instagram, at Rob Sultan on Instagram, if I missed your questions in the comments, because there was quite a few comments in here that I missed, if you send me a DM on Instagram, whether you're for what I'm saying or against what I'm saying, I will get back to every single DM. You have my word. Hold me to it. I will get back to every single DM in my Instagram, and you will be able to get a response directly from me at Rob Sultan on Instagram. I can't message you on YouTube. So if you want to shoot a DM to me there, feel free. If you want to follow me there, it's just a small time Instagram account, and it is me personally at Rob Sultan on Instagram. And I will probably announce on my Instagram when I'm going to go live so people can know ahead of time. If you click the subscribe and you click the bell afterwards, it's completely free to do that. No strings attached. You click the bell afterwards, you will get notified of all future live feeds and all future videos. Really, really appreciate you all being part of this page. And it is a blast for me to be able to do these live feeds. It's quite fun to be able to do this in real time, and a little bit scary too. It's a little scary to be able to put a video out there like this, you know, and just be doing it live, because you can make a mistake. You can get people to try to get you to lick your silver bar, and I know you guys want that screenshot. I know you guys want that screenshot of me licking a silver bar, and I'm not going to allow that screenshot into the universe. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it. But I did curl the bar, though. I never agreed to the lick situation. I can't let that screenshot go out there into the universe. I'm sorry. That's a little bit too much for me, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I will get to like a couple more. Someone said 100K subs. Looney Luna. Thank you for putting that in the universe. Thank you for putting that in the universe. I mean, it means a lot to me that you put that in the universe. Thank you. But again, all the silver squirrels out there, all my fellow silver squirrels, until next time, if you want to shoot me a DM on my Instagram at Rob Sultan on Instagram, I will answer every single DM, whether it takes me a week or it takes me a day. I will get back to every single one of you. I'm getting through them right now. We probably have like a 90 something left, but it might go to a couple hundred. I can get through that in a day or two. So expect a comment or a response. If you're looking to get into silver, that's also a great way to reach out to me as well. So if you guys crashed my website again, I can't believe you guys crashed my website. Excuse me. But yeah, I have a wholesale buyers club on my website that I plan to have back online within the next day or two. But it did get crashed because I think we had like 5,000 views at one point, and like my website's not used to that. And so it just crashed on me, which was pretty awesome. I got to give you props. props to all the silver squirrels out there. We had quite a few squirrels in the tree at Mineral Exchange. So thank you for that. We will have the channel, or the website rather. You can tell I've been live for a while, back online very soon. And I appreciate everybody being able to, actually, you know what? I will do that. I won't lick the bar, but I'll tell you what, I'll do one more curl with it before we sign out. We'll do one more curl and then we'll go from there. All right. So you guys got that from me. You got that from me. I'm gonna pass on the licking the silver bar thing, and we'll do one more curl of it so you know that it is real. And I'll make sure I bang it on this table pretty strong so you guys know it is real. And I'll give you a better, you know what? I'll give you a better look of this bar too, because it's a pretty badass bar. Take a look at this. I'm surprised I haven't done that yet, but it's a pretty killer ingot. I love the pour on this thing. You know, how wild is that? This is an actual piece of treasure from the SS Garsopa. I actually made a video on it a while back, just so you know how long I've owned this thing. But if you go to my Mineral Exchange channel, I actually did a video on this bar on my first YouTube channel. That's me when I was first starting the company, by the way. I was younger then. So if you want to see me when I was first starting Mineral Exchange, go to the Mineral Exchange YouTube channel. And that was back before I even acquired mineralexchange.com. That was back when the name was The Mineral Exchange. But I did a video on this back then, and that's probably more information on that. But it's just been in my vault here, and it's a super cool piece of silver. Super cool piece, and great history behind the SS Garsopa as well. So wanted to give a little bit of a profile of it. I got it on this little microfiber thing so I can spin it around a little bit. You get some people trying to insult you on the internet, you know, those little twig arms of mine. Yeah, well, maybe, but this thing's actually, I might have twig arms, but at least I know that this thing's over 70 pounds. So learn how to do math, Kevin. But all right. Thank you all so much for being here. We're going to be signing out. Thank you again. I'm going to go ahead and we will pick this up one more time before we sign out here, but thank you again. Hang on one second. All right, here we go. All right. For the person who said I had twig arms, can't do that. Can't do that if I did. But thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for being part of this live feed. Everybody that wants to be subscribed to the channel, really appreciate it if you click that subscribe down there. But I will see you at the next live feed. Signing out. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. See you later.